out here at SoFi Stadium. We're doing shots. We got whiskey. It's going down. That's how Cowboy fans do it. All the Can Maniacs out there.
How about them Cowboys?
We walked what I'm calling Dallas Cowboys corridor. As you can tell, we are at a Cowboys home game. Yes, I understand that we are in Los Angeles, Inglewood, technically SoFi Stadium, but this is basically AT&T West. So follow me this way. We're gonna see if we can find a couple of fans. We are infiltrating enemy territory. The Cowboy fans are doing it right. We got the signage, we got the great food, we got the inflatables. Thoughts on today's game?
We're gonna beat the shit out of them.
Woo! You see this right here? How do you feel about today's game?
We better win, that's all I know.
How do you feel about Dak Prescott after last week's performance?
Dak Prescott has been very consistent with the division. He has took us back-to-back 12-5 seasons. You know what I mean? He has winning records above. You can say what you want about the past 7 years, but on our division, he has been owning it for years.
Are you a Dak rider or are you a Dak hater?
Before he broke his finger, I was a rider. Now, nah. They need to let him go now.
You know Dak Prescott's watching this right now, right? Actually follows the Can Fan podcast.
Look.
Let's go!
Let's go, baby! Cowboys Nation, son! Let's go!
Cowboys Nation represent!
Cowboys Nation represent! Let's go!
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son. All day, every day.
Crack 'em if you got 'em, Seattle.
Here we are at Lumen Field. And is that a Harry Potter reference? Maybe. I don't know. I've casted a lot of Lumen spells.
Lumen videos.
We want to see Deuce represent. We want to see him repeat. I want some repeats. And I don't need 3 beats if they repeat.
I don't need 3 beats.
I don't need
if
3
they
beats.
repeat.
If they repeat. Let's go.
You don't think we're gonna make the postseason?
Maybe wild card.
So this is
Maybe wild card.
This is where I'm like, I'm good for a good ribbing, but like to say we're not gonna make the postseason, now I can't even argue with you because you've oh god.
You know it too. You know it.
Who's your quarterback?
Okay, we got it.
This is our year.
Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes.
Let's go! Let's go, Cowboys! Let's go, baby! Cowboys Nation showing up!
Pristine athletes in modern history playing in the NFL. Even the offensive linemen are incredibly athletic. I mean, these guys are over 300 pounds, and you know they can
Not only the size, but the speed of the linemen. Are you kidding
fly
me?
on the field.
You're telling me a guy that's 330 pounds, meant to block a guy that's 290 pounds, is faster than me, a sporty 240?
High 240. High 240. High 240.
I could beat any one of those guys right now, and I've drank a 6-pack.
What? You're wearing Crocs.
My 40 time is better than any of them.
Erroneous. 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 Erroneous on all accounts.
I've never been more sure of anything in my life.
How'd I do?
13-5.
Final quarter, here we go, baby! CD for the CD, baby! And I'm going for 2. Woo! I don't know why my safety was just playing off so far.
Tackle him.
Yeah, well, I might be a boomer, but you sound like a pipsqueak. You don't even know how old I am.
No.
You little shit. You didn't win the game, I lost it!
Make sure you know where he is, because he understands how to
Call
get
that a
open
throw?
in key
Give him
situations.
yours.
least I don't still piss my pants.
Protect you and your loved ones with Crackem VPN.
Ever heard the game Marry, Kill? Okay, like yeah, I'm gonna give you 3 people, and you're gonna decide who will you marry, who will you who will you kill.
Okay.
Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, and Tony Romo.
Marry Jerry. He's got all the monies. Probably Tony. Dak Prescott. Gotta kill him.
I'm gonna Romo.
She's gonna with Romo.
I'm gonna marry Dak.
She's gonna marry Dak.
I'm gonna kill Jones.
She's gonna kill Jerry Jones. Who will you marry, kill between Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, and then Tony Romo?
I'm out.
Jerry Jones, you.
So Jerry?
Jerry Jones, you.
Okay.
You.
Who will you marry, Dak Prescott or Tony Romo?
Tony Romo.
Tony Romo.
So that means you would kill Dak?
Yes.
Marry Dak, kill Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones, poor Jerry.
Tony Romo.
Why not? He's probably one of the best commentators, announcers on the game right now.
Tony Romo? That's mine. That's mine.
Jerry Jones, right now. Right now.
You heard it here, guys. You heard it.
We need trash can.
Oh, here we go.
AJ, you have to sleep in this for the night. Yeah. Football we already got. AJ's trying to take a piss right now. Trash can.
Stickers.
Stickers.
Couple stickies.
Couple stickies?
Yes. So we got a trash can. We're gonna go test it out in the toy aisle.
You're not getting it first.
First try.
He's not getting it. Give these guys a shot. They'll win a jersey if they get it. Oh, none of us made it. Come on, Dad. You get a free Cowboys jersey if you get it. None of us have made it. Dad's going for a shot. Come on, let's get it. Oh, that was the closest one.
Felt like the closest.
That gross? Yeah. We all missed it, so don't worry about it. We missed it. You guys go to the game tomorrow? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Us too.
Not only are we giving away 3 jerseys for whoever can toss a football into that can, we're also going to be leaving the can so someone can take that home too.
Look, there's still practicing Dallas Martin set.
What are you doing here?
Game day, baby.
Game day, baby, woo!
Kickoff's a month away.
Yeah, but we gotta get our reps in.
Yeah, they train, we train. Crack 'em, bro.
No, it's 7:30 and it's a Wednesday.
Road pop?
Oh! No, I'm going to work and I'm driving. Get out of my car. Cowboys, we got him.
Super Bowl! Super Bowl! Super Bowl!
Let's get it.
Guys, can we just get one? I mean,
Let's just get one. Doing the mojo moment. We got Dak Prescott in there. What they do is they're running one play, and then right after they just kick a field goal. TP20 to the
out
outside.
to the left, gets tackled
Swallowed
behind
up.
the line by Micah. Micah and his gang.
The linebacker.
Linebacker gets
So they're going to
tackled.
come back out. Again, it's going to be Aubrey. He missed his first field goal
Was it
attempt.
short or left?
Aubrey missed left. Let's see if he can put it through this time. It is
Short!
short.
What the f?
Over 3.
That was like a 50-yard field goal.
Oh, was it?
That was a 50-yard attempt.
Yeah, but it needed to be 54 yards.
I mean,
that's over
you
3.
still, you gotta at least get the distance.
Go for 2
You know,
next
get the
time.
distance.
Just go for the first down conversion. Kicking is still a big problem.
Yeah, you're gonna run into those, and it's the distance though. Accuracy, okay, you can miss that from 50. I'll give you that. But if you're not hitting it, if you're not kicking it 50 yards,
So the issue right now, that was the third mojo moment and the third missed field goal attempt. Gonna run out here and TV Tristan Viscano is gonna go for his second attempt.
you gotta go through all the motions, okay?
Yeah. So what they're doing, they're running the kicking team off. They're practicing in a last minute situation, having the kicking team try to get out there in time to kick a game winner. There's been no game winners kicked yet.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Here it is, though. Let's go, Tristan!
Come on!
Here we go. He's hitting this. He's hitting this.
Yeah, what practice is for. Make your mistakes and then correct them.
He's going to crank this one. He's going to boot it, and that one is
far left.
Far
left!
Wide left.
Distance. He's got the distance.
I mean, I don't even know why I'm surprised anymore. Yeah.
So we just lost 4 games on game-winning kicks.
Crosby's available, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think.
Got to get someone. So yeah, he spikes it. Let's get
Aubrey back out.
Aubrey out for hopefully his first made field goal. 1. Here it is. Let's get it.
Guys, can we just get one? I mean,
let's just get one. Come on, Obs. Brandon? What's his first name? I mean, Aubrey. Aubrey?
I mean, he's kicking from the...
That's a nice kick. He got under it. That's good. Oh! That's one. That's one. That was a nice kick.
I don't think he has much leg though.
Now just
no, that was not.
Now just do that every other time.
Yeah, that was almost short.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it.
What you just did, just rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat. Okay,
TV lining up. He's 0-4-2 right now. This is his 3rd attempt. Kicks it and
wide left. Get him off the field.
Go for 2.
This is looking not good.
Well, I mean, look.
I mean, at least it's not windy.
I'm going back to the car. I'm getting my jersey. I'm going in.
Yeah.
Boots
hey, at this point, Boots.
His nickname's Boots. His nickname is Boots. He's got to be good at kicking.
I'm going in. I mean, I can't do any worse.
Yeah, no doubt, dude.
Yeah, get your kicking game.
Get my jersey on.
Touchdown, baby!
John Stevens Jr. JSJ!
That little bastard! We are believers! Shelby.com. Let's go, Cowboys! Baby. To be quite honest, I've not seen enough of our boys out on the field who I want to see. So let's go. We got fucking 1/2 left.
Be a fucking Eagle. So I wrote back, well, Jalen Hurts wants to be a Cowboy. Like, he...
Yeah, did you show him the picture?
Exactly. Like, what are you going on about?
Yeah.
These guys get drafted. That's their allegiance. They want to get fucking paid.
They could have had Micah.
They could have.
They could have had Micah.
Exactly.
They traded them. Do you remember they traded
with us?
With us.
With us.
Yeah. We were back at 13. You came up to 10.
And gave us Micah.
You're mean! We're supposed to be practicing! We're supposed to be practicing! It's supposed to be fun!
I can't see the fact that I get it, Jalen Hurts had a great season last year. For me, before I crown him the best quarterback in the NFL or the best person that's ever been in the NFC East, I need to see at least another season of him doing it. Like, I remember the same shit with Carson Wentz.
I need to see 16 games.
I need to see one. I need to see him beat Dak Prescott. He's never beat Dak Prescott.
Never.
I need to see it. Get it.
Toby.
That's Toby. Toby, I'm telling you. WR4. That's Tolbert. That's Tolbert. Get that first down. First down. I'm a massive Tony Romo fan, right?
Cowboys kicking now. Start the score. We're down. We're not caring about the score. We want to see some fucking action, baby. We want to see some fucking plays. And right now, I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm going to be honest. I do not like what I'm seeing.
really throws a wrench.
Just throw the fucking ball! Just throw the fucking...
I don't even really, now the outcome of the game I don't care about. I don't care about the preseason outcome. I care about Overshow's ACL. Right now, that's
fucking nest in there? Like, no, look at his feet. Are you making a nest? He's like burrowing. Woo! Let's go!
There is a flag. Could be on defense.
Yeah, Toby, I told ya. Number 18.
Told you.
Number 18.
All right, so we're over here at SoFi Stadium. A lot of beautiful Cowboy fans coming through.
Hola, como? Like, hey, get it.
It is getting wild out here at SoFi Stadium. We're doing shots. We got whiskey. It's going down. That's how Cowboy fans do it. All the Can Maniacs out there. How about them Cowboys? We walked what I'm calling a Dallas Cowboys corridor. As you can tell, we are at a Cowboys home game. Yes, I understand that we are in Los Angeles, Inglewood, technically SoFi Stadium, but this is basically AT&T West. So follow me this way. We're gonna see if we can find a couple of fans.
Come on, baby.
Preach to me, preach to me, preach to me, preach to me.
Sunday service. Oh, Cowboys can fan.
Get these Jerry Jones demons out of me! Get them out of me!
Jerry Jones is out of my life right now.
And I have to apologize. I set the time 15 minutes later than y'all expected, so you guys have been sitting here. I feel like I need to help boost this energy, and what better way to boost it than with...
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
A drip.
A little drip.
Hard seltzer.
You know
Only 89 calories.
You know what I love? The drip guys are really cool, a lot of fun to hang out with. And you know what I love to tell them? Just shove that drip down my mouth.
Just shove it in there.
Shove it in my throat right now.
Stick it in there. Stick it in me.
Are you gonna crack it?
Stick it in me.
I'm cracking too. No, but these are
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
really damn good. And I know. Oh,
I'm so happy that happened. Sunday fun day, am I right?
AJ's looking quick right now. AJ looks like he's a fucking. He looks like he's a runner. He looks like he's
a speed racer.
A speed racer.
You look like you should have been in the scene with young Anakin Skywalker in one of the pod racers.
No, you look like you should have been in Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Well, I am entering into my 41st year, I guess, and like that's the official Clicko. I think you get the one
speed year.
You get the 140. Is still you can still be like I'm barely out of my 30s, and now
it's your speed year.
It's my speed year. I'm going divorced dad, and I'm not even married or divorced.
You're hitting that. You're wearing the frickin' starter jacket. You're wearing the frickin' Pit Viper ripoffs.
Kind of remind me of the Boss.
Yep. I'm styled for the 6 a.m. hockey practice for my nephew that I bring.
And all you do is read out the miracle Kurt Douglas?
No, Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Kurt Douglas.
Hey, I'm Merv Brooks. I'm your coach.
Who's Kurt Douglas?
Kurt Douglas is Michael Douglas's dad.
I don't even know who that is.
Michael Douglas, he's on the game.
I knew who Michael Douglas is, but I have no idea who Kurt Douglas is.
Kurt Douglas was not that's Charlton Heston, but Kurt Douglas is like an old-timey actor.
Well, fuck that old-timey bitch. How about that? AJ's our
How
Kurt
about that?
Douglas. Yeah, guys, we're back. Sunday service.
We are
Feeling
back.
good, baby. We are so fucking back.
Shout out to Chat.
Shout out
who's
to
rocking
Chat.
to us on there. Get Kilo C's in the house.
Kilo, the number one moderator on the interweb.
Kilo, we love you. Without
We
Kilo,
love you.
You know how much porn would be getting in their chat, so you better be thankful. Or maybe you're upset with Kilo because of that. I don't know. But it's the internet. You can
Damn
you know how to use the internet, bro.
Damn you, Kilo C, for blocking all those porn bots.
How many porn bots, what's the conversion rate on porn bots? You
Probably very high.
You think so?
I mean, for sports, it's like you're targeting dudes, guys just sitting there, You know?
Yeah, I'll give it a little click.
Let me just have a look.
Yeah,
Let me just see what's going on.
Let's see what some free trials offer you.
Hey, I got Norton.
Yeah,
I got antivirus.
I got a VPN.
Touching any random link in a YouTube chat, very risky.
Hey,
Very risky.
Hey, sometimes I like to sit home with a couple glasses of wine and
get into internet chats.
Open up some random links.
Yeah, open up some random links. Make some bets on some really weird URL websites. You know,
definitely put your credit card information.
Give all your credit card information.
Call me dangerous. I live one link at a time. Go ahead.
There we go. I finally got the official one because I had to.
Oh, right.
You had to let it drain.
I had to suck it dry.
Yeah, you had to get the.
Oh, I thought you opened. Did you open one and open another one? You got two on the go. Did you chug the other one?
This one I didn't open.
Oh, right.
I didn't see it until after I grabbed one for me, and so I thank you for that, by the way.
I think that was Anthony.
Yeah. I just put it up there because I was like, oh, dark cherry. I don't want that.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm a dark. Hey, we're both dark. We're dark cherry boys.
But I knew you'd drink it, guys. Big Cowboys news. I don't know if you have this up on the up on the screen right now, but
hang on. Another
Cowboys GOAT gone without a Super Bowl, and that's Zack Martin. Zack Martin dropped the bombshell of news that he was retiring. I want to say it was on Thursday, I guess, maybe, because we didn't.
It was Thursday because we laughed that all the big news happens the day after.
The day after we're live. So Zack Martin officially retiring from the NFL. The guy's been a mainstay as the Dallas Cowboys right guard for the last 11 years. He was taken instead of Johnny Manziel when everyone thought Jerry Jones was going to take Manziel. I'll always remember him for that. And he has one of the craziest stat lines in NFL history with 9 All-Pros, 7 first-team All-Pros, and only 7 holding penalties called against him. That is absolutely wild, man. That is the craziest stat. And you look at his PFF, and he is just he's
hydrated.
A bunch of hydration. That's exactly what you want to see, man.
Got a little dehydrated, right? And then he probably looks at his grades, and he's like, man, Martha. And you're like, yeah, and that's his wife, which I don't know if it's her name, Martha, but Martha, just looking a little dehydrated here. It's time to retire.
Well, I do just want to point out his run blocking dropped significantly in 2022. And what does that correlate with?
Age?
Yeah, it could be age.
Or running back?
I think it's the offensive scheme.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. Mike McCarthy started calling the plays in 2022 is what you're leading towards.
Well, no, I wasn't that the second year of Kellen Moore?
No, Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is 2020 and 2021.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought McCarthy had it the last 3 years.
Oh, no, you're right.
You're right.
No, you're
2022 was Kellen Moore's last year.
But what I'm saying is, who knows? Maybe I don't know if we can take any magic away from this, but it is interesting. Was Mike McCarthy, because you see the next 2 years, was Mike McCarthy heavily influencing Kellen Moore in 2022, and that's why Kellen Moore left?
Yeah.
Conspiracy theory?
I think so.
Regardless, the career that you're looking for is right there. He tapped out when it was appropriate. Even at 638 snaps in his last season, it looks like he was only injured twice in his career.
Yeah, and both those are the 2020 and 2024 are the only years that he didn't get an All-Pro selection.
Well,
he played under 10 games.
Yeah.
How did he not get one in 20? Oh, I mean, okay, so he had played under 10 games in 2020.
Yeah.
Overall, I think this is just kind of cool. 11,164 total snaps in the NFL. Wow.
To me, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like,
that's what you're hearing.
In 5 years, he's probably going to get his bust in Canton, and it sucks that he doesn't have the playoffs success that you'd like to see in a player that goes to Canton, but that's not by his fault at all. You look at these stats, and the guy was a mainstay for the Dallas Cowboys for a very long time, and it's sad to see him go, but he also didn't look like himself last year when he was in there. So
you kind of, I mean, what does that say to you that obviously he's retiring on a down note? Him retiring, do you think he's just saying to himself, I don't see us making a Super Bowl. I'm not even going to waste my time.
Well, he's a free agent, so technically it had nothing to do with even that, because he could have went to any team he wanted.
I think he would have been coming back to the Cowboys if he did decide to play, but I think you nail it on the head. He's probably felt the last couple years like, okay, I know I'm getting old. I bet you if the Cowboys were looking towards getting into the Super Bowl next year, that might be enough to keep him around, perhaps.
Way too many question marks around the team.
Yeah, but I think right now he sees like if I'm gonna have to probably wait a minimum of 2 years.
Yeah,
and that's not even guaranteed, right? Like with the way that the boys might be going. So
I think he used that kind of mentality for this season.
Yeah,
coming back was like, okay, well, maybe we still have enough pieces to give this one last run, and then he saw how it happened, and he's just like, I don't. It's going to be a slog. A couple years ago, he held out in training camp.
Yep.
You know, you get old, man. You get older. The body doesn't rebound as fast as it used to. But you have his stats up here by Brandon Thorne on X. Cowboys right guard Zack Martin, 11 years, 171 starts, including the postseason. 169 at right guard and 2 at right tackle.
Oh, wow.
9-time All-Pro, 7 times first team, 9-time Pro Bowler, only 7 career holding penalties, was a 2014 first-round pick, 16th overall, and 52 starts at LT for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So he shifted from playing left tackle to right guard in his NFL career, and it panned out quite well.
That's crazy.
And one thing... well, you know what? It's interesting because he has super quick feet. That's what I finally noticed about him when I watched a couple of videos after he retired. You know, that's how it always is. Celebrity dies, you start wishing they would have made more movies.
Take a break from your internet looks that you're getting, those random internet links, and you're watching. You go down the rabbit hole of highlight videos.
Just
YouTube.
zoomed in footwork of Zack Martin.
YouTube highlight videos where someone's throwing like metal. What kind of music was it? Metallica?
Oh yeah, you know, there's a couple guys out there who we like, and that's what I imagine in my head when they, you know, that Metallica song.
Enter Sandman.
Enter Sandman is always a really good one, but that was one thing that I really stuck out to me, and so I'm going to take that moving forward now. And utilize that when we're doing our mock drafts every Wednesday. I'm going to be, when we do hit an O-line push for our draft.
You're a footwork guy now.
Well, I just see how important it was because what they were talking about with footwork with Zack Martin is because he moved his feet so quickly, you couldn't knock him off of his base. And so even if you got around him a little, his feet were moving so quickly, he was consistently restabilizing himself that he just kept being a pillar. You couldn't push him over. So that's something that I never really understood footwork. Same with boxing. I was like, how does footwork matter? But then you see some videos broken down.
You're like, oh,
and it's like, oh, everything. Okay. So now I kind of think that's kind of, a
staple.
Looking at the skill board, I don't know if there's a foot quickness metric, but that'll be added to it. Foot play?
Well,
foot play metric.
And that's why Guyton was shifting a little bit here. The reason that the Cowboys took Tyler Guyton last year was because sure, he had some flaws in some areas, but his footwork and speed was up there. So they're like, okay, we can work with this. Sure, we haven't seen it yet, but I like this last little paragraph that Brandon Thorne wrote here. Martin played with pristine technique and unmatched consistency. He was complete package at guard and set the standard for his entire career. Simply put, the best guard of his generation. And he's retiring without a Super Bowl trophy, which he's retiring without even getting to to a conference title. I think he was only a part of maybe three playoff wins his whole career.
And you know what's kind of
sad?
You know what's kind of interesting is Zack Martin was the last guy lingering from the Tony Roma era.
Yep.
And that's it. And now we are
D-Law, but on offense.
Well, I guess D-Law, but D-Law, okay.
On offense, though.
Sure, I guess D-Law.
Guys that would have been
mattering. On offense, wouldn't. But we'll see what happens with D-Law. Is he still
No, he's a free agent also.
He's a free agent also. So regardless, though, this officially feels like the kind of closing of that era, even though I know it's been done for quite some time. But just that whole offensive line, Zack Martin was the last one who was just hanging around and doing his damn thing.
The shittiest thing about Zack Martin here is he was drafted in 2014. So he was the he completed that offensive line.
Right.
They had Tyron Smith and Travis Frederick on the offensive line. So now you have this great Wall of Dallas version 2. They have that year in 2014, the Cowboys were one of the best teams in the NFL. They had the Des Bryant no catch to lose. Then the following year in 2015, Tony Romo gets injured in week 2, is out for the rest of the season. And then the following year, Dak Prescott takes over for him because he gets injured in the preseason. So they built that offensive line for Tony Romo, and he really only played with them for 1 year and had one of his best years. So
so does the exit of Zack Martin change how you're looking at the draft, change it how you're looking at who we currently have on the offensive line at all?
Well, so I was reading the guy that's the offensive line coach. He was the head coach at, I want to say, Kansas City.
Yeah, he coached BB
and Deuce Vaughn. So maybe he wants to move on from BB and at center, which I know BB was really good at center, but he also had like BB at guard, right?
Yeah.
So maybe he has some influence in that situation now that you have this missing piece at right guard. I want to say that Brock Hoffman is a free agent also, but I'm not 100% sure. So I think that depends.
AJ's looking.
It really depends what they do on some of the guys that are there right now, current states. But we're going to see a completely different offensive line than we did at the start of last year.
Well, right now, what's the more important hole to fill, center or right guard? They're both important, but let's say
depends it all depends with free agency. I think you could put them on par with each other, really.
Well,
you can shift a bit.
I was listening just on my way down here. I was listening to as I was swerving between deer and other wildlife down
raccoons.
All them raccoons.
Don't touch that raccoon.
Don't you dare.
Don't touch that raccoon. It'll bite you.
Rabid rats. Rabid. What the fuck is your hill called? Rabid Rider Lake rats.
But I was listening to our boy J Tuck. I think we can call him our boy J Tuck.
Oh yeah, J Tuck's our boy. Yeah. He gave us a nice shout out the last time I was creeping in his chat.
Awesome. But he was talking about kicking BB out. Mentioned the same thing. The offensive coordinator now here kicking BB out to right tackle because he thinks that he'll be a much better right tackle and
tackle or guard.
Sorry, guard.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I don't
want to put words in his mouth.
It can't be worse than Terrence Steele. Like, fuck it, let's try it.
No. Replacing Martin with BB, and then either Brock Hoffman being that center guy. I'm still waiting for the fucking spot track to load. It won't load to find out if he's a free agent. We'll go over the cap. We'll endorse over the cap instead.
Don't you dare talk about my internet.
Well, if it is the internet, I mean.
It ain't.
But that would be good. And then that would change your draft. You'd be looking for a mean-ass center. And that's kind of cool. It looks like, Hoffman is a free agent.
He is.
He is this season.
So not saying that I was. This is exactly what I was. There's some really good centers in third to fifth round that we could grab, and they would be very, very formidable. A couple of guys that I've mock draft, they're just true centers. They have great statistics. It's like, oh, this guy could come in and almost be plug and play, and then you kick BB out to right guard. And at the time I was doing it because I was thinking, okay, if Zack Martin does go, then BB can kind of transfer into that. Wasn't expecting it to be this year, but I'm just saying now I'm all for that.
Brock Hoffman had a good season, so someone might outbid the Cowboys. So again, free agency is going to really tell us a lot what the Cowboys are going to have to do. If the Cowboys don't pick up anyone in free agency, well then drafting a guard or a center even it becomes pretty important.
Yeah, exactly. And my only thing would be whatever you think would have with BB, however you're gonna rank that on center and right guard, whatever option in free agency you can replace center or right guard with would be what I would move with first. So if you think that you can get a cheaper, a more affordable, I should say, a more affordable right guard that's better than BB, then you would keep BB at center. If you think you can get a more affordable but better center, then you would kick BB to the right guard position because he has the experience. So, honestly, I'll ask Big Chris next Wednesday, when he's on. But I think the right guard position is a little bit easier only for the fact that you're not having to snap a ball and do that. So
yeah, you know what you got with BB at center. You know he can come in. BB had a good season last year, so
Yep.
But at least we have some options. The offensive line, and this would have been a perfect segue if we were going to do offensive line this week. But
I know, right?
again, we had to talk about Zack Martin retiring. That's huge news.
Yeah,
and depressing. Like that's one of the guys I wouldn't have been mad if he went and signed with like a Kansas City or a Baltimore Ravens or something, and was like, you know what, I want to do a 1-year deal, and I want to make a run. I'd be like, okay. It was kind of like when DeMarcus Ware left and went to the Denver Broncos.
Or Smith.
You can't, or anyone. Like you can't be mad at these guys. They're trying to get that Super Bowl.
The only thing you can really be is disappointed that the team wasn't in a position by this point in their career to keep them on, so that they could make the playoff push with
Playoffs. Kyler Gaming says similar to what I was mentioning earlier on. Martin leaving was a huge blow to the team. It's a little telling if he felt he couldn't go one more year. And then you brought up the fact that he is coming into free agency. So, it's not just one more year, it's multiple years. And then you're going to take a contract and then just to retire the year after.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, it would be nice to see him get into possibly some coaching down the line.
Is there anything else in chat being said?
Yeah. Dustin Roberts says, "What up, Cowboys Nation?"
Anything else?
Yeah, and then Ultra Cowboy says, "AJ has a foot fetish. Just ask Justin Tucker." Ultra Cowboy said that earlier on. I had it up on the screen.
Hey, I might have a lot of things in common with Justin Tucker, but I do not like his feet. Let me tell you that. I like a nice stubby Bessie foot.
Yeah, just a
wide with no toe.
Wide, no
hobbit feet.
Shovel, like a shovel
just
head.
like
It's just like our hands. It's all palm, no fingers.
It's just
all palm, no fingers.
Just hobbit. That's the best way to describe.
He also says, AJ says, Kyle Yeomans has the perfect package. Which we didn't even bring up Yeomans, but hey,
I like it.
Yeah.
I like giving Yeomans a little bit of a shout out here and there. But guys, and like you were saying, there's not really much more Cowboys news, and I think
well, even when you said we got to talk, what we have to talk about right away, I was like, what do we have to talk about? What happened?
I know.
But obviously,
well, no, it's because of course we do our show. Here's the thing, Cowboys Nation and Can Phenomaniacs, you come listen to our show Wednesday, and then wake up early because some sort of massive breaking news will happen
Thursday.
On Thursday.
Yeah.
Almost always.
Yeah,
always.
It's all the time. The only other thing, I mean, it's not really even worth mentioning, but I'll say it because Kilo C Supermod brought it up. He goes, "The Debo Parsons news is crazy." I agree, it's crazy because I wouldn't want that.
Getting Debo in like 2 first rounds.
Yeah,
for Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is just all.
I mean, it's just people project.
Debo's a 5th round pick wide receiver. Or, like that's what I would trade for him.
In my mind,
and if they don't want that, then
Micah ain't going anywhere. Micah's staying. That's just the Joneses are gonna fuck it up and
I'm certainly would be mortified if the Cowboys traded Micah Parsons to the 49ers, if that's what you're suggesting.
Totally.
Because
Parsons
better
and Nick
way?
Bosa?
Yeah. Well, what fucking better?
And fucking what's his face? Warner.
Yeah.
Let's not
Imagine those three dudes all together.
Let's not bring Garrett here and do what we would do with a Garrett Parsons package. Let's send Parsons to San Fran so they can do a Bosa fucking Parsons package.
No, that's.
Are you kidding me?
I know.
That's nightmare fuel, man.
The thing with
you can't do that in just because of that reason.
Well, and here's the other thing too.
Trade him to the Jaguars if you're going to trade him to someone out of the conference and someone that doesn't have a other stud edge rusher.
Well, Micah also now being going into his next contract, he saw probably what type of money he can make in Dallas without having to pay that federal income tax or whatever the hell it is. So him taking a smaller deal, a couple million less, he's going to probably be making multiple millions more based on being based in Texas alone.
Being in the great state of Texas.
Yeah, and he's planning his roots there.
The Lone Star State.
So you go to play in an LA and a California team. So LA versus Cowboys. So Cowboys they're still taxes statewide, or sorry, federally, I guess.
Yeah.
But 0% versus 10% or whatever it might be
is a lot.
And the thing is, the players actually have to pay the income tax in the state they played in. So it's half the season that you get your benefit from your hometown. And then if you play in other 0 tax states, then of course you don't play there. But if you go and play in California twice a year, 2 of those games
Is
are
that
taxed.
really?
Yes, it's taxed
Oh, I
in the
didn't know
place you
that.
play because that's where technically you're
you
making
worked.
money. Yeah,
Interesting.
Kyler Gaming says
Crazy.
we'd be idiots like the Giants letting Barkley go if we let Micah go.
Micah is just not going anywhere. The difference between the Micah thing and the Saquon thing, the Giants should have never let Saquon test free agency.
you look at that. I'm shocked that the dude still has his job based off of that. But I
He
guess
should be fucking gone.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily
Head coach and GM.
Oh,
gone.
Do it again.
Fucking gone. Both those guys have their jobs.
Yeah.
The other thing that so Kay McDonald fires back in chat. Kay, this is probably the first time I've
and then
ever
they
bring it
let
up.
sorry, and then they let Jones go.
Yeah, I know.
That's the whole.
It's just that if you could have butchered a better offseason, I don't know if you could have butchered a better offseason.
No, you could.
At least they drafted Neighbors. That's their one shining light.
One shining light. Cade McDonald says, nah, taking 3 high first-round picks would suffice for Parsons.
I mean, that's tricky. No one will ever offer that though.
3 first rounds.
Yeah,
But
you'd want them now, right?
Yeah.
That's the issue.
You get 1 this year, 1 next year, and then maybe a second next year.
I need
possibly.
2 this year.
Yep.
Yeah, I tell him to go.
I need 2 this year and 1 next year.
Find another one for me this year.
Or like I need your first round this year, your second, third, and fourth, and then your first round next year.
Yeah.
Fucking give it to me. You want to do that?
Because then I can trade up.
Yeah, then I can do shit.
Yeah.
But Micah ain't going anywhere.
Ultra Cowboy just putting a button on the O-line talk. O-line was better last year without Zack Martin.
Agreed. I do agree with him. I agree with Ultra there because you could see it when Brock Hoffman got in there. They started running the ball better. But did this also correlate with them starting to go with Rico Dowdle more? I don't know.
Yeah.
But the offensive line and running game looked better later in the year. So and Martin wasn't in there. So I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Rage. What are we? Maybe preface what we're about to do here.
Okay. Well, first
Starts
off,
with Skittle, ends with board.
Skittle board. I created another Wage Skittle board. Well, it is what it is, and it's been donned the Skittle board. Before I even get into what it is, if you're looking at this, you're like, wow, that looks really tasty. Well, go back to last week, watch our running back, and the reason I bring that up is because I have to shout out Dynasty Land Football for that sweet metric. Missed tackles per attempt or whatever the fuck it was. Go watch the other breakdown. And
if you're watching this as a clip right now, look up above and you'll see the link of last week's video.
Yeah, we're not clipping this.
We're not clipping. But yeah, we are looking at the defensive linemen. So this is DTs and DLs. If they are a edge or an edge hybrid, they're not on this list because we're going to look at those separately.
Yeah, no ends, no edge rushers or ends. This is strictly like nose tackles. I'm going to say 1 tech and 3 tech, like I know what I mean. 1 techs and 3 techs.
Yeah, and if I got that wrong, feel free to drag my name through the dirt in chat. And also, if someone's not on this list, and you're like, what the F? Cowboys Can fan, go look at those guys. Shout out it as well because we're going to continue to build this. Once we get to the combine, they're going to have metrics for us that we're going to add to it, and it'll get even more skittly. So
crack them if you got them.
Crack them if you're. So how are we going to do this? Because we've all kind of looked at it. Do we want to talk about our guys, or are we just going to kind of go through who you're picking? Like what? How do we want to decipher your skittle board?
I think Anth had a good idea. We each pick 2 or 3.
Yep.
Yeah, just guys to talk about where we think the Cowboys can draft them. And just by us talking to each other in our DMs before we came out here, I was just sitting there watching YouTube, and I was watching Daniel Jeremiah's second 2.0 mock draft, and he mock draft Walter Nolan going to the Dallas Cowboys, a guy that I haven't even looked at because defensive tackle I kind of just put out of my mind, even though we drafted Mason Graham in our last mock draft. So I think that's a good way to kick off. Just looking at guys that we could possibly get in the first round, not necessarily anyone that we looked at because I don't think any of us are on board with a defensive tackle in the first round. But
unless it's Mason Graham.
Unless it's Mason Graham. But you have Mason Graham, so you're kind of consensus for guys that the Cowboys would take a shot at. I'm Kenneth Grant and Walter Nolan in the first round. They're kind of in that ballpark where the Cowboys are drafting at 12.
Yeah, and so real quick here, I created this fantastic board. Right now, it's sorted by the PFF rank. real simple breakdown for this color coordination. It's just first round is green, or like 32 picks. The next 32 is orange, and so on and so on. Until we get kind of in the later rounds, and then it's just like, fucking.
You don't want to be peeing that color.
You don't want to be in that. Let me just get rid of this real quick. And this is all happening live. Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Sometimes you think that you're going to use the internet for this stuff. Not CanFan. We have our own Excel, aka Google spreadsheet here.
No, well,
don't call it that. It's the Skittle board.
It's the Skittle board.
The Skittle board is great, and here is the. There's a bunch of metrics on here. Stop rate, and we can look at all of these for all these guys. Okay, stop rate, missed tackle rate, win pass rush rate, just to have that available for these guys. Their amount of tackles, their penalties, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I did my best to like crunch values here, and I'm not going to tell you a formula because it's fucking wild. Here, I'll just show you real quick. It's wild. But
did you make that formula?
Yes.
Yeah, just like by your hand. You're doing everything the hard way, right?
Well,
everything by hand.
Go impact value, because I'm guessing the best one is the impact value AVTD adjusted. That's kind of what you want to look at.
Yeah.
So I just want to see that when you set that to the best.
Yeah, I just
how it kind of.
Hey, don't be fucking live editing your board. You come in here with it 100%, or don't come in with it at all.
Hey, fair enough. Thank you. No, the impact value is taking in consideration all of the factors that they have on the game, all those qualities I listed, except for their average depth of tackle. And the reason I left that out is because I didn't know too much about how these guys played and if they're on a weaker or stronger team.
Right.
So I felt like, well, maybe if they're the only guy stopping someone, that could, versus having a real strong defensive lineman beside them all the time. But we do include that on the impact value AVDT adjusted. All in all, this is just basically like a point system, like off of PFF, where I add everything up, plus the positives, minus the negatives, and it gives you this value kick out. And quite frankly, I think it's pretty accurate. We way higher stop rates because that's what these guys' first job to do. We weigh that higher than, say, a sack or a pass deflection. Not by much, but because we're looking for that. This is what their main job is to do. Their secondary job would be, okay, now get to the quarterback on those plays. So
just by looking at your board right now, and when you have it selected at impact value, I would go out on a whim here and say Cam Horsley and Ty Robinson play in weaker divisions.
Very true.
That's and maybe even Vernon Broughton and Cameron Jackson. My guess is because they have very good metrics, but their PFF rank is so low, and it's probably because they play in lesser divisions. So that's my takeaway from this, and I like it because they played very well.
Yeah,
but their PFF rank is being doxed a little bit or taken down because they play in less competitive divisions. That's kind of what I'm seeing there.
Exactly, and their stats were very good, just based on a pure stat comparison level. The thing about it is, so Cameron Jackson, you tell me, he plays for the Florida Gators. Is that like a mid-ranked?
No, that the Gators play. The Gators play in they play in the SEC, so they play against a lot of good teams.
So the last thing I just want to show you guys before we dive into our players individually. So then the average depth of tackle.
Dick.
Yeah.
That made no sense.
Is this normal?
Does this look weird? Hey, dude, let's do this after the show.
So average depth of tackle, I felt, was just the most impactful piece of data, because it basically, the closer you are, the lower the number will be. Meaning you're stopping the player on. So Mason Graham, for example, who I have highlighted here because he's the kind of number one pick for this group, has a 0.08. Very good. Less than a yard where he's making those tackles. Whereas TJ Sanders, who has a really good impact value, has a 3.4 average depth of tackle. So there might be an explanation for that. He was not playing linebacker, and that's more of like a linebacker depth.
But you double teams, right?
Exactly.
Getting double teamed. A lot of these guys, a lot of these bigger dudes are taking on double teams.
Hell yeah.
So that would be something. I mean, hard to know.
But you see that because of that, now if we go to adjusting their value based on this average depth tackle, he's still third overall in his impact value, 85.7. It's not a percent, by the way, because Mason Graham's 98.8, where he should be. But it impacted him significantly.
Yeah.
Brought his value down significantly. So did my best to take that in without it having like wash a player out.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go down here to our poor boy Omar Norman Lott,
It took him down.
but he's got a combination of a lot of penalties, 6 penalties, low tackles, and a low missed tackle rate. And all those things combined is like, you got a lot of work to do. This is the last fun thing. If I zeroed him, if he got 0 tackles, it really boosts him up quite a bit.
0 penalties.
0 penalties, sorry.
Yeah.
So all that in mind, like there's certain things that, yeah, if these guys were able to half their penalties, probably would significantly improve them, because a penalty I considered removing a play and minus 10 down. So I valued it based off of that.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
just on
this is a
average.
good thing to reference, but I got to ask you guys. So back to Cowboys drafting.
Yeah.
Now we have AJ's Skittle board to reference things. We got the PFF ranks. Can I just see those for a sec?
Crack him if you got him, Michael Clark.
Crack them if you got them.
So PFF ranks are here. Then the draft buzz.
Yeah, can you top it out, the PFF one? Like make it so that it's in order?
Sorry. Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, fucking look, we get it. Your fucking board can do a lot of stuff, and just give us the standards.
Okay, so this is the fact of the matter is, I like the board because it's going to give you a chance to see who we want to take in later rounds. But at the end of the day, the PFF rank and the draft buzz position rank, that's kind of going to be where those guys fall in with getting drafted. And I just want to know from you guys in a perspective, at 12, Mason Graham's off the board. Are you taking a Kenneth Grant or a Walter Nolan with your 12th overall pick?
If I had to pick between the two, they're both very close in my breakdown. I'd be leaning towards Walter Nolan. And the most significant reason is his sack pressure rate and his sack rate. And he's got a much better pressure rate.
And he had 6 sacks.
That's
pretty nice. Mozzie Smith didn't even have 1 in college.
Yeah.
His whole career, or 0.5, I think he had his whole career.
The other thing is he's got a really, really good stop rate. I think he's second ranked out of all the guys that we have here. Let me just have a look. Yeah, third ranked.
So realistically, we're not getting a Mason Graham. That's not going to happen. He's not going to fall. So let's get a draft buzz of Walter Nolan.
Okay, we'll bring up Walter Nolan. One thing I think would be phenomenal with your Skittle board, which I know you could do it with certain parameters. I just don't know what you put in there. But let's say I want to see Kenneth Grant and TJ Sanders and Shamar Turner, and I just want to see them 3 on their side, all their comparative side by side, depending on their rank. It would be nice to see guys that you're picking and having them their stats stacked up together.
I'd probably have to, I can look into that.
We'll talk about it off book. But as you're going through, I'm like, ooh, I'd like, because when Ann said, would you take one of those guys? I'm like, well, how marginally better are they than somebody that we could grab, like a Tyleek Williams or an Alfred Collins in round 2?
Hey, baby, that's why I did the fucking impact value.
Okay.
I'm PFFing this for you.
Yeah, right.
Okay?
Thank you. So I'll ask that.
But you can
afterwards.
also look at the end if you're looking for the guy who I don't care about his pass rush. I just care about his stop. Walter Nolan is your dude. He ain't gonna pass rush very well. He's very poor on that.
Yeah.
But he's exceptional at the stop run.
Yeah.
He's not going to pass rush? I mean, he had 6 sacks.
He had 6 sacks, but his pass rush win rate is very low. So yeah, he can still get in there and sack.
I wonder if that's just because he played a lot of downs.
He had 587 downs. He's like, I'm just saying, these are just the stats. So if you don't really care much about the pass rush win rate, if he's getting 6% pressure rate, which is better, a little bit better than average, yeah, then who gives a shit? Pass rush win rate means not too much, right?
Because he has a nice sack pressure rate.
He does.
Let's get a look at this guy.
Yeah.
Because I think he's realistically the only person at 12 that the Dallas Cowboys might take. So he played for Ole Miss. He obviously was he played for Texas A&M before also, but this last season he played for Ole Miss. 6'3", 293 pounds. So not exactly the size that I'm looking for.
No, he's going to need to have to put on 15 pounds to get into that wage A, because the scale's a little bit different on these guys. It's a lot lower because we want heavier pounds per square inch, right? So Walter Nolan is a little bit light, but if you put 12 to 15 pounds on, then he would be hitting that average kind of
nice area.
Nice area for his weight. Also, just real quick, the position values on Draft Buzz are different because they also included on the DL edges.
Right.
And so edges eat up a shit ton.
They value an edge rusher more than a defensive interior.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I just looked at the DTs and
well, let's see what he sizes up because they do. They scroll down on this motherfucker here. So measurables, like we just talked about, not exactly the weight that we like to see. His hands are a little bit small. His arm length isn't great, but he's fast. So they're calling him a fast guy, and that's maybe why he has those 6 sacks. And this right now is kind of putting me off of Walter Nolan, to be honest.
I don't like the arm length, to be honest.
I want a plug and place guy, right?
Yeah.
A guy that from right now you could put him on the defensive line and not have to worry about getting him to gain 15 pounds. If anything, you're just trying him to maintain his weight.
Yeah.
You're not trying to get him to gain it. You're trying to get him to keep it. Like, you kind of see what happened with Mozzie Smith his first year in the pros. He lost 20 pounds or 30 pounds, whatever it was. So I don't like the fact of having to get a guy in there that's already a little bit on the light side.
Well, let's look. So I have this ranked now by the wage A body rate, and we needed a little song for that. Wage A's body rate. But you can see down here, the average, like we were looking at for running backs, is different, obviously. It's about a 0.62 is what you're looking for. Mason Graham's in that 0.6. Same with Ashton Gianti. He wasn't the very top, but he was just above the average at point. I think the average was 0.84, and he was 0.82. So he's just a little bit heavier, which is nice. You can tell that just a little bit of weight is a good thing.
Yeah, but it looks like, the money spot is like 0.60 to 0.62 is where all the guys that are very good at what they do.
Exactly, yeah. And Kenneth Grant maybe is that dude. Should we look at Kenneth Grant now?
Yeah, we can look at Kenneth Grant. And then there's another guy. So Michael Clark in the chat's bringing up a name that I just saw there that I'd like to bring up. Because I don't know.
Is he like 12th overall pick?
He's a good
What's his name?
He's a body rate boy. He's a 3rd rounder.
What's his name?
Deion Walker.
Oh, yeah. We know. I know.
Yeah, he's a body rate boy.
So another Michigan Wolverine guy. We got 6'3", 342 pounds, absolute behemoth of a person. And you got
good
down
40
here.
Too.
His weight's great. He runs the same 40 as Walter Nolan. Heights, 6'3". I'm not going to knock him for there when he's all that junk in the trunk. His arms roughly the same as Walter Nolan.
A little longer.
But his span, he's got a bigger span and he's fast. So this guy's a kind of a, toss me one too, son. This guy is a genetic freak. To be able to be 342 pounds and still run a 4.95 is pretty insane.
He's got a good body. So I guess, I honestly wouldn't be mad with either one, but I think you've won me over with the idea of getting a guy who doesn't have to put on weight. In fact, 342, you might even be like, hey, man, you could lose 5 pounds.
Yeah. And then it wouldn't probably affect his game.
It wouldn't affect his game because he'd still be right up there. And if I remember correctly, and we'll ask Big Chris when he's on next week, but Big Chris was always looking for a guy that was well over 305, I believe.
Yeah.
310.
And he's going to have a lot of insight because 2 of these top 20 picks for the defensive tackle position were Michigan boys in Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham. So Big Chris is going to be able to give us a lot of insight on that.
Yeah. And to just hit on the Deion Walker, geez, my phone's going off. It's going to give me a little bit of a...
I think it's my phone.
Okay. Deion Walker has a 2.2 average depth of tackle, and that's what really brings him down, unfortunately, on his value. But look, a 3rd round pick potential.
Yeah, because I think...
Okay. He's got a good rank.
He's top 10 for defensive tackles.
Top 10 for defensive tackles, yep. And he's good on that wage body rate.
6'6", 345. He's high on the
good size.
The body rate, Bay.
That's a big dude. 6'6".
Give me a draft buzz on him.
Yeah. What's his name?
Deion Walker.
Deion Walker.
This draft is so deep
with defensive tackles
that I know we talked about running back. I think what did we say? Running back, wide receiver, defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Those need to be we need one of those in every in whatever it is, 1 to 3. Crack them if you got them, son.
Crack them if you got them. Get some of that drip in you, kid.
But also we were like
6'7", they have them on Draft Buzz.
I know. I honestly have. I always like to. I want to default to the smaller size just so you
don't get overexcited.
Exactly. And Draft Buzz always has them a little bit heavier and a little bit higher.
So 6'7".
generally.
So we'll say 6'6", 340.
Sure.
I like
big.
I like a defensive tackle 3rd or 5th round.
Now
those are the guys that I'm targeting right now.
Okay, well,
in my mind,
I don't mind that at all. And this is really good because that arm length is over that 34-inch, and that's not me coming up with that. I've heard that over and over. 34 inches is kind of like
is
a gold.
Anything above 34, that's for offensive linemen too.
Yeah.
Anything above 34 inches good. Anything below 33 can still be okay. But this is for tackles, like an offensive tackle. If they have if they're under 33, it's like almost a no-go because you're going to be going up against guys like this. That automatically you can't even touch them if they have their arm out.
Yeah, exactly. And then they just win every time.
But look at it. So this
big
this
span
dude,
too.
Yeah, Deion Walker has a lot of nice physical attributes. 40, of course, isn't great, but again, you're not expecting him to chase people down. He's just a space eater. You just want him to eat up as much space.
Eat that space.
That's a big dude.
What's a positive and neg on him?
Oh, okay. Positive here. Rare blend of mass and mobility for his side, shows shocking lateral quickness when working down the line and can change direction without losing power or balance. I like an agile O-lineman, and I think if you want to start complicating things for defense, you need to have a couple of those guys on the O-line.
Athletic freaks.
Yeah.
On your defensive interior, for sure.
Conditioning.
Ooh, scouting report weakness. Conditioning is a major concern. And this is the top thing they said. Tends to wear down quickly and becomes much less effective in longer drives or when asked to chase plays. NFL teams won't take that. Like, he might have been out of shape in college, but if you get to an NFL program, that's not going to happen to you. We watched when we were down at training camp a couple years ago, I want to say from Ozzie Smith's rookie season, the training camp, they had picked out a couple of the defensive tackles, and those guys were just by themselves running sprints at the end of practice. You could tell that they were kind of lagging ass on the field. Yeah. So I don't think a conditioning, it might be a major concern from college, but if you take a guy and if he wants to make an NFL team,
you're being conditioned before you get to the
and that's why that 340 might turn into 330 or 325 because you're going to be moving, you're going to be in shape.
I also think, like, in terms of things that you can take and coach into someone, conditioning, strength training, those types of things are easy. Anyone can just, if it's your job to get stronger and you're doing it every day, you're going to get stronger. If it's your job to have better conditioning, they will put you through a routine that's going to improve that. By how much is the question, and if the guy doesn't have the will to do it, then that's going to make it harder. But I find it really hard in like 9 out of 10 cases, or maybe even more. You make your way to college to get drafted to the NFL. I don't think those things are going to be a problem with the proper coach.
Well, I know we only do 1-1, but his very last weakness is motor runs hot and cold throughout games, showing concern lapses in effort when fatigued or trailing plays. So
it's just connected to his conditioning.
It's conditioning. If you get tired, you see it in the UFC. Guys get tired.
Oh, yeah.
A guy that in the first round was throwing bombs, by the third round, if he's tired, he looks like a completely different guy.
Which it's weird. I guess that's what separates the good players from great players, because like if you're thinking you're a professional athlete, like, and you're in the UFC or the NFL, you should be running all the time. Your conditioning should not be a thing, but we as human beings get lazy. We drift.
Well, he's gotten by being such a big fucking person.
Yeah, exactly. And that's that when you look at it in a college level, and you got the difference here where you can expose weaker players and become a dog. NFL, it's like the gap is like this. So you have those weaknesses. Sometimes you're not able to just get by on certain things. I mean, in the chat, Kyler Gaming says we need technical ability though. We picked up Guyton thinking he was a monster and could brute force his way into the league, and then we sat him. So you look at guys who have those athletic abilities, and maybe they aren't that day one starter.
Yeah, but the difference between Guyton and the guy that we were just talking about, Dion
Tyler
Walker,
Guyton was a first round pick. Yeah, we're talking third round pick.
Yeah, third round pick. You're not necessarily expected to start. So I do agree with that sentiment when it comes to day one picks.
Yeah.
So, and I want to actually kick off a guy who I've kind of been jerking about.
Jerking and turking?
Turking and jerking.
So give us okay, you got to give us to go into kind of the mock draft scenario. I don't know who you're going to say, but in what instance are the Cowboys going to be looking at this guy?
They would be looking at him in the second round for sure.
Okay. Day 2 pick, sitting there at 44.
I doubt that they would get him in the third round. But there's always the potential that people see things differently than I do.
Can I take a guess who you're going to pick?
If you're not reading my chart that's up with the name, don't look.
If you're not looking, so he looks right.
No.
Okay. If you're not looking at my chart with the name,
it's not easy to read.
I can't see it. It's a notepad.
I want to guess too.
It's pretty small.
I want to guess
so,
too.
So you guess too.
Was it one of the guys that you said in the Instagram?
Well, actually, hang on. Is the name on this board right here?
Okay, then I won't guess because it was.
I did say it in Instagram, but you may
Adam didn't read it because I said mine too. Ad's like, who are you taking? I'm like, AJ and I both said who we were going to say, and Ad's like, oh, I didn't see it.
Okay, I'm not going to guess because I don't, if I guess wrong, then that's my guy that I want to take. So I'll just
just guess because he already has it.
If you didn't see, then
Alfred Collins.
Okay, no, but
that's mine, dipshit.
No, you have Alfred. Okay, so Anthony and I had the exact same guys.
I told you as soon as we walked down here and you said, "Oh, Alfred Collins," I said, "That's who I wrote in chat."
No,
we had this
conversation. CJ West is who you said. You fuck.
Well, then you had both my guys that I put in chat, so that this wouldn't happen.
Bessie Bros.
Bessie Bros picked the same juice. Hey, those are two studs.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
You can go. You can go Alfred Collins. I got another guy.
No, I got other guys. I already picked other guys.
Okay. AJ.
Someone's better take Alfred Collins.
Would you fucking take him, please?
TJ Sanders, 39th ranked PFF. This guy, what I like about him here is he has one penalty, which is really nice to see. He's nice and disciplined. A 12.6% pass rush win rate, which is nice and high.
Yeah, that's up there.
8.8% stop rate, which is just above average, but I like that combination, having a really great pass rush.
Can we get a look at your boy while you're talking him up here?
Yeah, or if you're wanting to reference your board, just highlight him on the board there.
I already wrote my notes, which makes it a little
easier
bit
for you.
A little bit easier. Let me just get over here. TJ Saunders. And no.
Not related to Dion?
What the fuck did I say?
Hey, guess what? He's not even there.
I'll find him in a sec here.
We're all just like staring.
This is AJ's.
I like him. This is my guy. He's so good.
Okay, gonna do this another way.
Add talk.
Sorry,
this is a good time for chat.
Okay, so chat right now. Star Trek says way too many college players coming to the draft needing conditioning or more muscle mass.
I
agree. That just irks me. You know, you want to play in the NFL, then get your ass in the gym and get ready for it. Lloyd Atkinson Jr. says, I'm actually for trading back and picking up extra picks, but makes Garrett is better than a first round grade. You keep your score second and your third. You bring in a wide receiver and linebacker in free agency, the runner in second. So there's a chat conversation going on about
what to do,
about taking Garrett.
How about this?
Hey, I'm just gonna say this. Sunday chats right now, they're pretty active. Go ahead and crack if you got them.
Oh yeah, what else are you doing on Sunday besides
laying there naked watching the Can Fan Boys?
Hell yeah.
Kyler Gaming says, breathe in that dead air, boys.
Right? Well, it's hard for me. I don't have anything in front of me. If there's ever dead air, that's perfect time for the People's Champ to People's Champ.
And
off the top rope, elbow drop, spin kick.
Then our boy Orlando Rodriguez says, Cowboys Can Fan, the NFL draft is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
Laugh cry emoji. It's a crapshoot. Go Cowboys.
Michael Duncan.
That's a t-shirt right there.
We have Michael Duncan Clark in our fucking chat?
Michael Duncan, postmortem, Michael Duncan Clark in chat says, at work getting paid overtime for nothing.
Is he dead?
Hey, you're getting paid. Yeah, Michael Clark Duncan's dead.
Oh.
Or Michael Duncan Clark.
I don't even know who the fuck you two are talking about.
The big dude from
oh yeah, he's dead.
The Green Mile.
Yeah, he's dead. He died a long time ago.
And then Kyler Gaming says, "JK, you guys rock with no football. I'm happy to tune in."
Hey, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so
AJ likes getting these like basketball players, 6'4", 284. I don't know.
Yeah,
Can make it on football.
Hey,
field?
hang on. And this is the thing. So perhaps he would drop, and I would much rather take him in the 3rd round.
Okay.
But I just love a lot of what he does on the football field. Just from his stats, guys. I'm not watching him. This is all based on
Moneyball Jay. He's Jonah Hill. He's a 180 of what Jonah Hill is in Moneyball, and he's just looking at the numbers.
Just looking at numbers, man. That's all I care about.
It's too hard. Well, one, we haven't watched a whole bunch of college football.
Next year, I think we're gonna get into
try
a little bit more.
Like we watched the CFB playoffs and stuff. Playoffs, but it's hard to. Like, even when you go online and you watch a video breakdown, they're breaking down 5 plays out of a guy's college career, right?
Yeah.
So you can really take any narrative you want on a person. If you're trying to
pick the 5 best or
the 5 worst,
and we're also we're the worst about it because when we
yeah.
start to play CFB 25, we get attached to a player. Like when we were talking about Walter Nolan,
Ole Miss guy.
I've been playing with him on Old Miss, and he's solid. So it's like all these shortcomings.
So and St. You're like, I don't see that.
I don't see this thing.
When I play with him,
when I play with him, he's a fucking dog. He helped me do 2 massive comebacks.
So TJ Sanders, 6'4", 284 pounds, out of South Carolina.
Now, yes,
defensive tackle.
The biggest knock, of course, can be that he's got a bad weight ratio. That's for sure.
But give us your selling points. You were giving us some selling points prior.
So we just wanted to see what he looked like as you were talking.
So he's got that nice, those were the 2 selling points: the 12.6% pass rush win rate and the 8.8% stop rate. Both of those things are good for disrupting offensive play. The knock on him and the 1 penalty, which I like that discipline. He's going to have to put on weight, probably at least 15 pounds. This weight is different than the one that I looked at. I think it was like 290 or something like that. So, give or take 15 pounds. That's a significant amount of weight to put on, but I think it's doable.
Oh, totally doable.
Right? But how much does that extra 15 pounds affect his speed, his agility?
Like right now he's a sub 5 guy. He's 4.95, which seems to be the going rate for these high prospects on the defensive tackle. So weight, Draft Buzz has him kind of on the low span, but then everything else is nice. He is under that 34-inch arm, but he's right at the bottom of it. Like just wear longer gloves and you should be good.
Right.
His height's great. His hands aren't great, but his 40, he's up there. So again, nice measurables though.
Like I said, he just stood out to me in terms of what my Moneyball data showed me. The one big thing though that he absolutely needs to work on is he's got a 3.4 average depth of tackle.
That's not great.
I want to know a little bit more about that. It seems so far away from everyone else at his level that I need to know.
That also could be a good thing. He's picking up for like the linebackers,
exactly.
and defensive ends aren't doing their thing. So he's just turning and making the tackle, right? When they didn't directly go through his area.
It's that, or is he being pushed back on the line?
Yeah, so you don't know. But because of his the way he's rated on not only PFF but Draft Buzz, it makes me think that his depth of tackle isn't that bad in his situation.
Right. And so for that reason, I'd look at TJ Sanders. If he did fall to the Cowboys, it would be at what, like around
44.
44. So I don't know, man. In that scenario, I might want to kick back, try to pick up another trade, and then if he's still there, pick him up.
Well, and it looks like there's going to be, there's
a bunch of dudes.
all the dudes that we're going to talk about in our kind of day 2 pick, I think all of those guys could be available around 44 to 48.
Yeah.
Right? So you kind of trade back and get the best of the bunch and maybe pick up a 4th round pick or something, right? So
I just have these guys highlighted.
Yeah, those are day 2 picks.
These are your day 2 picks. Sanders is kind of the top of the list, And there's a lot of guys that are good here. Alfred Collins, and I don't know if you want to.
That's who I'm going to touch on.
Yeah, let's touch on Alfred Collins.
Taking Alfred?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll take Alfred Collins. Let's just start off right with this. We're talking like we brought up that 6'7" lazy piece of shit that doesn't want to run. Let's get some Alfred Collins up on this NFL Draft Buzz. You guys want to see a measurable freak? Let's look at a measurable freak. 6'5", 325 pounds, runs a 4.95. But let's just scroll down to this color-coded shit here. Look at that. Height's a blue. Weight's a green. Shuttle's a green. 40's a green. Vert's a yellow. They don't give us his hand or his arm length.
We'll get that.
But at 6'5", there's no way it's under 34 inches. And they don't give him the span. But guaranteed, those are both going to be green lights for this guy. So obviously his major selling point right now is his athletic attributes. This guy's going to be, if the Cowboys want him, I think they're going to have to take him at 44. I don't know if you're going to be able to trade back to get him. But the NFL.com's predicting that he will be eventually a plus starter, which means he will, by year 2 or 3, be a very successful player. And his overview, Collins isn't going to stand out in any particular area, but he plays hard and has outstanding physical traits. That right there, I want the physical traits plus playing hard. I don't ever want to see a guy that's, giving up because he's out of shape or he lacks hustle when he's out of the play. Displays otherworldly strength at the point of attack, regularly tossing SEC guards aside. The SEC's the cream of the crop when it comes to college football divisions, like they're tackling dummies in practice. So give me a negative on this guy, because I only see the positives of this dude.
Okay, top negative?
Yeah, give it to me.
Pass rush arsenal is severely limited, relying almost exclusively on bull rush without developing counter or finesse moves.
See, that to me is like you're reaching for a negative.
Yeah.
If he's bull rushing or taking on a double team, do I need him to be swim moving? I mean, I've just watched Mozzie Smith for the last 2 seasons get blown up on double teams.
Well, I will say this, Alfred Collins' body size
fits your meter?
Is 0.61. It's right above the average of 0.62, meaning he's a little bit more, got a little bit more pounds per square inch, and that's what you're looking for in a DT. You can't have these light guys. Some of the lightest guys here, for example, are Tyleik Williams, has a 0.8, so far above everyone else. Unless I put that fucking wrong, I gotta go look at that real quick.
Let me just say this: the main weakness for Alfred Collins, and I think this should have been top above his ball rush bull rush and not having finesse moves, is his age. He is 24. He's going to be a 24-year-old rookie, potentially limiting his developmental runway, is what they have on Draft Buzz. I think that's a bigger negative than not having a swim or finesse move, to be honest.
And I just want to correct myself. I'm really sorry. Tyleik Williams actually has one of the better bodies.
Jesus Christ, Wade.
Tyleik Williams is going to be a high round 2 pick.
He would be another two that we would want to go
if you
for.
weren't gonna if you were gonna take out Alfred Collins, I was gonna talk about Tyleik Williams.
I don't have him on my list because I wasn't looking like Alfred Collins was like kind of my round 2 target,
because he's in that area where Tyleik is kind of, you might think he's getting taken maybe high 30s, even low 40s.
Yeah, the one thing, like my notes for Alfred Collins in terms of like his projection is Collins is seen as a high floor prospect with immediate impact potential against the run, versatility and elite run stopping ability make him an effective and attractive option for teams looking to bolster their defensive line. So
and he starts instantly.
Yeah,
he'll be a starter if the Cowboys don't re-sign Osa. Alfred Collins is going to come in and he's going to be starting with Mozzie Smith.
So I wouldn't be mad at Alfred Collins or Tyleik Williams at a second pick. Either of those guys will be, I believe, starters.
Same with AJ's guy. What your guy was?
Sanders.
TJ Sanders. He's going to be up there. The Cowboys might not even get a chance. So if say the Cowboys get to 44 and those those 2 dudes that we just named, if they're both sitting there, and Ad's going to give us another guy here pretty quickly. But if you have TJ Sanders, Tyleik Williams, and Alfred Collins all sitting there at 44, fucking right. Trade back a spot or 2 and see if you can pick up further round picks for day 3.
Yeah, and the good thing about Williams, too, is no penalties. So that's like the discipline, and the Cowboys need to look at that for their more so for the offensive line, but just overall, I can't handle both lines getting penalties, so I'm always constantly looking at that.
Ad, who's your dude?
Well, Alfred Collins was my dude because I thought you were going to go CJ West. So,
Well, I don't think CJ West is going to be a day 2 pick.
No, he's not.
So that's why I kind of picked a day 2 guy and I picked a day 3 guy.
So I'll just bring I got notes on CJ West. So we can look at CJ West. He's probably going to be picked between rounds 5 to 7. He's an Indiana prospect.
Yep.
Powerful, has a compact frame. His height 6'1", weights 314. So a little bit shorter on the WayJ height meter, but his body moves like WayJ.
FYI.
Yep.
Height does not matter.
Okay.
It's the height and weight. It's the height divided by weight.
Okay.
In centimeters.
Okay.
Divided by weight. So he's actually real good. He's a 0.59.
Okay.
He's on that WayJ body.
He's great.
He's jerkable.
That's
a jerkable.
He's jerkable on the WayJ body meter. I like him as in the 5th or 5th to 7th. I can't see him going later. So I think you're probably targeting around the 5th round. We don't have a 4th, so you're not going to go and stretch early for this guy. Powerful, compact frame, natural leverage, quick initial burst off the snap, especially effective in gap shooting situations. Has great lateral movement skills for his size. Versatile. He can play multiple techniques along the defensive line. As Ance was talking about, the 1-tech, 2-tech. He's also a high-energy player with strong work ethic and character. So I think when we look at building culture around the team, you want players that are going to come in that are going to be dogs, specifically on that line.
He also killed it at the Shrine Bowl.
Yes.
He was like a standout at the Shrine Bowl.
Yeah,
Day 1 at the Shrine Bowl, he was blasting past offensive linemen making plays.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so his performance at the East-West Shrine Bowl has reportedly improved his draft stock, which, again, is probably going to push him, could be 4th or 5th round is where he's going to be, where he could be picked, right? But, yeah, do you guys want to bring him up on Draft Buzz so we get a look at this gentleman?
Oh, yeah.
And one thing I want to see, too, we touched on size, but as soon as we talk about CJ West and I would have given you Alfred Collins for a day 2 pick because I would have talked about another guy for a day 2 pick.
That's okay.
So that's where I was confused. Because I think going forward, we should have a day 2 pick.
Yeah.
And a day 3. Day 1, everyone knows the day 1 picks. Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, and Walter Nolan, right? Those are the day 1 picks, right? But then for the day 2 picks, we all pick a day 2. And maybe we just kind of, this time you'll read on the DMs. But you know what I mean? Because then I like this dude. Because CJ West, that was going to be my day 3 pick.
Right, okay.
Well, in fairness.
So now I'm scrambling for my day 3 pick here.
Okay,
No, but in fairness, Adam is thinking like Stephen Jones. And so there is a chance that CJ West could be a second day.
Or, possibly. I mean, a second day is a 3rd round. Maybe he...
Yeah,
if he
you're
kills,
right, you're right.
There's a lot up in the air right now, too, with what we're talking about. This next weekend, next weekend's the NFL Combine. Defensive tackles out of any position can really fortify their position and jump up a couple spots in the NFL draft by having a solid combine. Like he's set up as a 5.2 40 time. If CJ West comes out and runs under a 5, he's going to shoot up boards like crazy. So
Well, here's the rough thing that's going to add a bunch of work to me, but now just my analytical mind, I need to do it, is we are also going to add to these draft charts to be utilized for next year when the players are drafted.
Yep.
So we can get a nice percentage of how accurate these rankings are. And that's going to now start to affect our decision. So if, if there's a 20% differential or whatever it is from what their rankings are, maybe that could push CJ up into a late 3rd round pick. Maybe not necessarily for the Cowboys, but if you're talking about, we love this guy, we're gonna trade back for him. I'm making an argument for you. Just go with me.
Thank you.
Okay?
I appreciate it.
But I do want to call out some things about CJ West that you brought him up. And I'm going to start with the negatives, but don't worry, we get to the good stuff later. Very low sack rate, only 0.24. You should be well above 1% to be good. Very low sack pressure rate, only 4%. So he's not really getting in there for sacks anyways. And he's got a rather high missed tackle rate of 18.2. Should be about 11% or under to be average. So he's letting guys sneak by. He's not getting back to the defense. What the hell does this guy do good? Well, let me tell you, he's got an 11.4 stop rate, meaning effectively negating an offensive play. He does that very well. He also has a really high average depth of tackle of 1.6. So he's tackling players before 2-yard line. So, he's good for that. And then overall, he's ranked about 14th, on the impact depth. So for where he actually is ranked on the PFF chart, he is overperforming.
Totally.
Right.
He is.
Well-
And they're talking about him jumping up draft boards. If you just go into Google here and just Google CJ West NFL draft, I just want to see if one of the videos pops up.
Oh, don't look. CJ West feet. I was just looking for his foot size.
Well, as
CJ
Alex,
West NFL
Draft. Yeah, just put NFL draft. I just want to see if and then videos.
and videos.
And I'm trying to see. Yeah, this one right there, the third one down.
Don't play it too long, Ad.
Oh, you won't get flagged by this guy, I don't think.
Yeah, maybe not.
Well, then we'll just cut it out of our video.
It's all right. I'm just gonna keep doing this, and then it'll fuck it up. Oh, my sound's not even on.
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna say.
That's okay. That's better then.
Well, but you look at him like so if we just go back and we see just the clip, you had all these things about his rushing ability, but the dude looks, for his size, like when they cut to the video of him blitzing in here or doing some swim moves, he looks pretty damn quick to me. Like that's a big human moving pretty fast.
Well, and as you're talking,
Have we ever seen Mozzie move like that?
No. Well, one thing the one thing that I really liked about him when you're looking at him as a later round prospect, he went from Kent State to Indiana in his past season. So he transitioned to a Big Ten team, and he had a really good season, and then ended his season off with a good Shrine Bowl, which just, again, you see him progressively improving, which I think you want in your players.
Yes.
You don't want to see someone who comes in and he's a dog and then he goes down. Can he play at a higher level? Yes, he can. Can he get better at a higher level? Yes, he can. Did he finish his season off at a higher level? Yes, he has. So he has been invited to the Combine. You mentioned it. If he goes under 5 in the Combine for his dash, then that he'll probably be in a round that we're not going to be able to get him.
Let's see what he has. Let's see what Draft Buzz has him on on their measurables here. So nothing great. It's
really short arms and real short span.
Really short arms. Holy, yeah. Quite short arms.
Well, if your arms are short and you don't have a great span, then you better have good hand techniques.
Hand techniques, yeah, and power.
Yeah, and I've seen this guy work his hands, and they are amazing.
Worked his hands.
So before
on
we go to anyone else, I just want to see kind of the stats that some of our guys put up. Let's start. We're talking about CJ West, so we're talking all these measurables, but we haven't even looked at.
Well,
really.
CJ West's stats: 42 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 1 pass defended.
That was
2024.
That's pretty good.
So what do you want to look at? Because I got tackles, sacks, missed, or stops. Is there anything you want me to?
Just on all our guys, what the guys that we've kind of talked about, just go sacks or tackles. Let's do tackles. You clicked on it.
Yeah.
So you got Alfred Collins. What did I say?
38.
Hey, what did I
lead
say?
in the pack.
What did we say?
What did we say? So guys that we talked about here: Alfred Collins, TJ Sanders, AJ's guy, CJ West, who Ad likes, not far down. He's in the top 10. And then who was another dude we talked about? Tyleik Williams. He's sitting there at 12. So they're all stat-wise, they're all sitting in the top 15. What about sacks?
I just have to say this though: tackles, I'm not too fond of.
No, tackles is a weird one.
It's a metric you need to consider, but I think it's just like it's a flat metric.
I would have liked to see a double team rate. How often these guys get double teamed? Because if they're double teamed a lot and then they still have that tackle rate, like if you have Alfred Collins who's double teamed 50% of the times he's on the field, well, then the tackles does hold some weight.
Yeah, because I mean, if Pornhub can have that statistic, then then these guys should be able to have that statistic.
Stops is good. Do you have TFLs? I guess TFLs would be.
TFLs, I don't, and that's actually a good one.
I think TFLs
is included in kind of a stop.
Right.
So a stop is where they negate the positive play, and it's a really good metric for a defensive tackle because it doesn't reflect on the passing plays as much.
And
Ant's looking at his wiener.
Ant's looking at his
Just
wiener.
looking down at
Ant's getting dead air going on.
It's still there.
We look right here. this is where this Cam Horsley becomes extremely intriguing. He's got a very high stop rate. You can see Mason Graham is in third, 12% stop rate. But anyways, everyone else here who has a lot of stops, we're really just looking for that. I think I would look for more stops than I would a better stop to tackle ratio than a better tackle to stop ratio, right?
Yeah.
Because the defensive tackle, I want them to get in there and disrupt the run before it can actually produce positive yardage. And so, unfortunately here, one interesting thing that you can look at is the pass rush rate for some of these really good stop rush guys is rather low. Except for, of course, Mason Graham, who can do both.
Just an absolute monster.
It's an absolute monster.
And the reason he's going to be a top 5 pick. And people that were mad, oh man, you're taking defensive tackle at 12. It's like, we don't even need to argue with you.
No.
If you don't think Mason Graham is going to be taken at 12, if he falls to 12, then you're insane. One, he's not going to.
Yeah.
It'd be like the equivalent a couple of years ago when Jordan Davis somehow fell to 11. It made 0 sense, and it was just because he had serious allegations off the field.
Right.
Which Mason Graham does not have. Mason Graham will be a top 5 pick.
Well, similar situation with Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter fell because
what
of
did I
the
say?
offseason.
What did I say? I said Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis.
I meant to say Jalen Carter.
Okay. I was like, Jordan
Thanks,
Jordan Davis.
Yeah, thank you for covering
I
me
was
up.
honestly, I did the bitch thing and I just went along because I was like, Jordan Davis. I was like, who the fuck?
Jordan Davis was taken the year before by the Eagles.
Yes.
Okay.
In the first round.
Yeah, well, I was like, oh, wow.
And then they took
Jalen Carter.
took Jalen Carter the year after
because he's a fucking should have been the first overall pick.
Yeah,
and he plays like it.
And you got the Eagles looking like they're fucking the gridiron game, taking all these problematic players for their fucking team.
Well, the Eagles just do one thing for defense. Did he play for Georgia? Yes. Is he a top 10 pick? Yes. Take him.
Take him. Done. Dunson. There was a problem. Okay, WJ, apply that filter range.
No, it's a.
So Anthony and I had a bunch of double ups. I have another guy that I wouldn't mind us looking at.
Okay, just hang on. I gotta.
Well, start talking about him.
Okay, so this guy that I'm looking at here, he's definitely not in a sizable range that for weight. He's 295, so he's a little bit lighter. He's 6'3". He's projected to go between.
What, are you going to bring a little bitch down here and try to make him play some football?
He's projected to go between rounds 2 and 3. Some of his strengths, strong run defender, which is what I think we definitely want to see.
I love that ads going the opposite.
Okay, so solid run defender, which we want to see, right?
Know that you went your 5th round pick first, and now you're doing your 2nd or 3rd round pick now.
I know.
You didn't want him to get picked.
I
like it. Smart.
So I'm going to say some of these stats, and I'll say his name.
Okay.
So strong run defender with ability to shed double teams. He's explosive in his first step and has power to reset the line of scrimmage. High motor player, plays to the whistle, shows promise as a pass rusher with developmental potential. 51 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. PFF run grade defense is 67, and his rush grade is 61.4. Ty Hamilton from Ohio State. I know being a Michigan Wolverine fan, saying a Buckeye guy is sacrilegious, but Ty Hamilton is another guy from the Ohio State that I think we should take a look at. Where is he on your board there,
He's not even on my fucking board.
Are you sure you got the right guy?
Ty Hamilton, defensive tackle, Ohio State.
He's not on my board. I could have deleted him.
I also could have maybe.
I think you were thinking of Tyleik Williams.
No.
Are you sure?
I have Ty Hamilton here.
I'm not seeing a Ty Hamilton.
I might be fucked then.
I'm not seeing a Ty Hamilton, my guy.
Oh, that could be.
Hang on.
It is probably Tyleik Williams, but what's?
Okay, well, Tyleik Williams is Ohio State.
I don't know why. It would, yeah, what's his stats? What's his stats?
What did you say he was graded on PFF?
61 point.
No, Ty Hamilton's there.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
right there. Ty Hamilton, draft buzz.
Yeah, I see him.
But you said
Let me bring him up. Let me bring him up.
Second
Here.
He's just projected for 2nd or 3rd round, so it doesn't mean he is going to be 2nd.
I'm just looking, trying to find him on PFF, and I can't find him.
He might. PFF sometimes doesn't showcase these guys because this guy is a 53rd ranked defensive lineman.
Look him right there.
I like him. He's going to be low on the body ratio with a 295 weight at. I can just tell right away.
Yeah, no, of course he is.
But he's fast.
And when I guess again when you're playing behind a Tyreek Williams, I don't know much about this guy. It's just as I was going through guys here trying to figure out who to have, he popped up. I liked his measurables being a bit smaller. I still think there's some.
I think you could put 15 pounds on. That's my weight. But let me read you a strength from him. Okay. Explosive first step off the snap paired with elite leg drive allows him to consistently reset the line of scrimmage against both zone and gap schemes.
Yeah, keep reading.
And the weakness, pass rush arsenal remains limited, relies too heavily on bull rush, and lacks developed counters when initial surge gets stalled. So he's a run stopper.
Yeah, and the reason I couldn't find him PFF, I had top 200 ranked. So they just don't have him. They have him ranked differently. That's why I couldn't find him. And if you put Ty Hamilton draft stock, I get like a projected seven round.
Crazy, okay.
But hey, that's good. If we're looking for depth, at some point, well, what's AJ got him on here on your board?
He's not. He doesn't even rank on the Skittle board.
He doesn't rank because my Skittle board goes to 300.
Well, let's go. So on Draft Buzz, what's Draft Buzz have him for their ranking?
They have him on
53rd position, which isn't terrible.
Defensive lineman, so he's probably actually somewhere in the
like 4th or 5th, right? Which
is
round? Yes.
Yeah, 4th or 5th round.
I'm a 4th or 5th round guy, anyways.
Which is good.
Which we don't have a 4th.
Hey, weird. He runs a 4.95.
Yeah. Well, with that size, right?
Well, it'll be interesting to see. Again, they don't have much of his measurables. He was a Senior Bowl invite. I wonder how he played at the Senior Bowl. But did you guys get down to? I just thought I wasn't seeing him. Did you guys get a positive and negative from him?
Yep. Yeah, we went through it.
Yeah, we did a positive, negative. To me, with a lot of this stuff is like the later rounds. I really would just be looking for size,
like this. This guy's
and then hoping that you can coach him.
And he's from Pickerington, Ohio. Ohio. Imagine that. Born in Ohio, play for Ohio State.
Yeah.
How nice would that be, man? That would be sick.
Come on down to Texas.
A guy that I was kind of looking at, and I mean, it gets a little bit. And when I look at WayJ's Skittle board, it doesn't make me as excited. But Junior Tafuna at 16.
We're gonna look at him.
Let's take a look at Junior, and this is a guy that I scrambled to look at just because I needed someone because I kind of had CJ West, but CJ West, that's my guy. Like if CJ West is sitting there in the 3rd or the 5th round, I think you go with CJ West, and I'm even gonna once we're off air, we're gonna just run through a quick PFF mock draft to see who's sitting there at 5.
I like it. Yeah,
but I like.
Why do we have to do it off air?
Hey, you're not wrong. You could just you're not wrong.
Why do we have to do it off
That's
air?
actually he's not wrong.
But like ideally, like when we're looking at defensive tackles specifically, we could fucking rip through a quick one. We're not gonna bitch and moan about it.
Like you don't like this guy.
Hey,
I like the thickness.
Utah Ute.
I like
Junior
that thickness,
Tafuna.
baby. Now he's even worse ranked on the DL position than Adam's last dude.
Yeah, which is crazy because PFF doesn't even have ads last guy.
I know. This is what I'm saying. I actually really do like that though, because it means that they're looking at things differently, and we're getting like different perspectives.
We get a and they have full player statistics here too on Draft Buzz. I didn't know that. That's interesting. How does it? Oh, okay.
Not as good as like.
It's like
well, if they don't have
layout.
PFF, at least we know that we can look at something.
Yeah. Okay. So player overview. Again, I'm thinking this is probably a 5th round pick here in Tafunu. Span sucks. Arm's not great, but his weight and his height, as far as I like that size. But you see him lack in the 40. A lot of the guys that are taken in or are projected to be taken in, say the 2nd and 3rd rounds, they're all running sub 5 times, right? And he's not on the heavier side, so you'd like to see him have a little bit better of a 40 time. But, man, he's got that Polynesian blood in him.
Yep.
And we love our Polynesians.
They're not even dignifying him with a
strength and weakness.
But
I guess
maybe it'll come.
Suck at this then.
No, maybe it'll come. Again, the
I like his look.
The body's nice. I like his look. Give me that Polynesian bloodline.
He looks 45, but
he looks 45.
Yeah, he definitely looks. He looks almost like he could be related to Roman Reigns.
Totally.
WWE.
The fat. What is it? The bloodline.
The bloodline.
Hell yeah.
That's a bloodline pick.
That's there's. We haven't seen any bloodline picks.
Is there any bloodline picks?
There's got to be. Oh, Emmett Smith's kid.
Okay, so that.
But I don't even know if he's gonna get drafted.
Last year was a heavy bloodline.
Last year there was a lot of heavy bloodline picks.
I'm gonna say this with Tafuna, his biggest negative right now is his ability to put pressure on the quarterback. Now, if you look over here at his stop rate, he's actually a little bit above average. So he's not. The problem is he's not a rusher. But I do have to say this. Ball disruptions, so that includes forced fumbles and batted passes, just basically negating a play, whether or not that forced fumble went to your team or not. You've stopped the plays from, you stopped the offense from gaining yards. He's got a real nice .82, so he might just be not necessarily a guy who's going to get in there and disrupt the quarterback as much as he can just play a solid position and be a menace on the line, batting down footballs, creating forced fumbles, and he's got a decent average depth of tackle of 2.1.
Our last junior we drafted didn't turn out very well, though.
No, but he's disciplined with only 2 penalties and a 0.4% penalty rate, which is
I'll bring him on. Bring him the fuck on.
You get him in a fifth round.
Take a flyer.
Poppy don't mind that. Guys, I got a guy who you're not gonna like.
Hey, I love the way that you started that.
Thank you. He's actually pretty good on the old PFF Rush draft. I'm talking about JJ, and I like to call him JJ Pegasus, but it's JJ Pegues or Pegues.
I'm just reading his AJ gets pegs.
He's got a good body.
325, did I see there?
Yeah. 325, 6'2", 325, a 0.58, so he's nice and light, or nice and heavy in that fucking frame.
If you needed to anchor down, if you were playing tug of war, that guy's your anchor.
Set him in the back, tie it around his fucking waist,
3
give him a
times.
hot dog.
Yeah, 3 times around, give him an HD.
Sit him down, give him a hot dog.
Yeah.
Good amount of sacks, average sack rate, average pressure rate, average sack pressure rate. So he's just kind of average. A little light on that, misses a little too many tackles, but it's not incredible. It's just below average.
Let's get a little look-see at Pegasus.
We'll get a look at him, but the thing that sold me on Pegasus here is his average depth of tackle. He's got the best of only 0.02.
Okay.
His major negative is his 6 penalties.
Yeah, but that's why he gets that point too, because he's off the ball fast.
Exactly. Well, if he got 0 penalties, which is unlikely, it would put him up into the 13th ranked player here. So, but let's go look at JJ Pegasus.
Let's get a pickup.
Peg J?
Peg J. Double Peg J?
Double Peg J?
Oh, another Ole Miss guy.
Ole Miss, yeah, son.
Okay.
6'2", 323, 43rd rank.
4'9". He's got some wheels.
He's got some wheels.
Wheeling and dealing.
Weight's nice. 40's nice.
Little bit of a... Don't like the span now that I look at it, but the arm length at least is barely holding on.
Yeah, it's there.
But we're talking about later a third rounder, fourth rounder, fifth round. I mean, look, I guess we've gone back to 7.
Can't be a fourth.
Can't be a fourth, so...
Well, it could be a fourth if we trade into it.
That's true. Hey, you ain't wrong there. Or trade back to gain it.
Or trade back to gain it. You're right.
Let's get a scouting report here.
Explosive first step. Oh, you know what's your guy? You say it.
I liked what you were doing.
Explosive first step quickness off the snap. Consistently wins a neutral zone battle and flashes dynamic penetration ability against zone concepts.
And that's why he's got that point too. They're pretty much preaching that point too on the skittle board. And his scouting report weakness, raw hand mechanics and strike timing need development. Often loses first meaningful contact and struggles to establish inside hand placement. I don't know what any of that means, really.
Well, it
seems like it negates what they said his positive was.
And also, if it's about anything about technique, that's a teachable thing, right?
Totally. Maybe the Ole Miss guys just didn't know what the hell they were doing, even though they had Walter Nolan down there.
Just get in there and put your thumb up his ass. Coach, I've been trying. It's not working.
Are we all in agreement here that the Dallas Cowboys need to target defensive tackle in this upcoming draft?
Look, at this, every time we go through these players, I'm going to say yes. But however, I think whenever we were calling out wide receiver, halfback in the first 2 rounds, both of those in the first 3 rounds, as much as I hate to draft another defensive tackle with one of those first 3 draft picks, I think it's necessary.
I feel better at number 2 than number 1, though.
Same.
I
feel
do
better
too.
at 2 than number 1.
The only difference will be if Mason Graham falls
Yeah.
somehow to 12, then I think you have to take him over, because I don't think Graham and how do we say it now? Genty?
Genty.
I don't think Graham or
Try
Genty.
it with me. Try it with me.
Genty.
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 Gentle
Genty.
T.
It's like, yeah, it's
Genty.
like it's like a short form of gentleman. He's a genty. He's an Ashton Genty.
Oh, that little Aston Genty over there, huh?
Well, in that Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft, we took Walter Nolan. Ashton Genty went 21st to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Here's what I want
to take Walter Nolan over Ashton Genty, I'm punching you in the nose.
I'll punch you in the ear.
That might
with
be...
a kiss. I'll punch your nose with a kiss.
I got to get over to the WayJ fucking impact.
And don't get me wrong, Walter Nolan, it looks like a great guy at round 12. And I'm fine with that as long as Genty's not on the board.
I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to say, oh, go ahead, Ad.
I was just going to say, like, if it, again, it all depends who's there, right? I think if Genty's not there, but we have a very formidable wide receiver, I would be more...
We'll spin it into a defensive tackle conversation.
Well, so I would take a wide receiver over a Walter Nolan.
Okay.
Like
in the first round.
In the first round. You're fucking... Because I do think that we can get really good... Because the second round. I think second round is when we would start
I think
targeting.
Ad's saying if, like, McMillan's there at 12, he'll take McMillan over...
I'd probably take McMillan.
I would take Burden over Nolan.
I think those are the 2 guys.
Those are probably the only 2 receivers that are going to go.
I haven't got him on the Skittle board yet. How the fuck am I supposed to know?
Skittle J?
Skit J hasn't even got it yet.
I'm still pressing for offensive need. But just seeing how many of these guys, it just excites me to see these guys. I wouldn't hate the Walter Nolan pick, to be quite honest, but it's not Mason Graham, so you're going to just be like, oh, we're getting the second best guy.
Where Ashton Genty's the number 1.
Exactly, and if you skip Genty for that. All that being said, because of the depth of running back, and I really think that a lot of the guys that you could probably pick up with the Cowboys in the second or third round have the same, let's say, average. Maybe Genty's ceiling is much higher, but the same average as Genty, I'm almost willing to let him pass for the right guy.
I'm just worried that you don't get those other guys.
I know.
So in that same Daniel Jeremiah's mock 2, it went Ashton Genty at 21, Omarion Hampton at 22, and then Travion Henderson at like 28 or something. So it's like,
so then
those are all guys that I would love to get. But
if those 3 are gone, then we're into another.
Well, I
think Caleb Johnson maybe, but yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm worried that if we don't get Genty if Genty's gone, I'm fine with a Walter Nolan pick at 12.
Right.
I'm fine with that. But if Genty's there and Walter Nolan's there, I want Genty, and then I want to target some of the dudes that we talked about today.
Absolutely. So I was saying, like, again, it all depends who's there. Do I want to draft Hampton or Travion Henderson at number 12? No, I don't. Would I trade back to try and get them at a 20th pick? I would be happy taking Hampton or Henderson as a running back later on and having us
and gaining picks
and gaining
if
picks.
Genty's off the board.
Yeah, I even think I would rather gain picks than take Walter Nolan at 12. I would rather trade back, gain a couple picks, pick a running back, and then still get some of these defensive tackle
possibly
guys.
2 starters for the price of 1.
100%.
Hey, let's just do this real quick. PFF mock draft.
Got it up.
7 rounder, ultra speed, no trades, nothing. Dallas Cowboys. Let's see if we can get one of these. Let's see if we can get JJ Pegs, AJ. In one of these rounds here, baby.
Peg J?
Pegasus J.
All right.
Turbo it up.
Give me a Kraken for this. I got to get a Kraken for this.
Yeah, me too.
You're going to have to run up and grab a Kraken.
Are they gone?
No, I got more in there.
No, we got more. We just had a half.
I got it. Okay, we need Crackums for this.
Okay, we're going to go Crackums.
AJ, talk. I'm gonna pee.
Yep. Ant's gonna go pee. I'm gonna talk here. Hey, you guys want to? No, I'm not gonna pull it out. That's for a different thing. That's an OnlyFans thing. But we are gonna do the mock draft here. Dallas Cowboys picking at number 12, and we don't do. This is a unofficial Can Fan mock draft. We're really just looking to try to see where some of these guys that we talked about are picked up. I got to ask you, chat, anyone out there on the defensive line, not an edge rusher or not a hybrid edge rusher, because we're going to look at those guys separately. Anyone who stands out to you, I do see a lot of names. Ty Hamilton is Osa. I like that. Who else do we got? No, we also got here Lloyd Atkins Jr. saying Ibuka has never even a number 1 at OSU. He's always been a wide receiver 2 and just set a record for receiving yards. So that's pretty cool. I mean, if Ibuka's there, we haven't even got to wide receivers yet to really start breaking them down. And here's the unfortunate thing. I think now, just in our minds, since we've kind of deep dove into running backs and deep dove into defensive tackles, we're just going to naturally go to those guys. Think of the
wide
picks.
receiver will be good next week. Because
Exactly.
Those are the 3 we really think are needs.
Yeah, and by the time we get all of those position groups looked at, we're gonna have a much more, like, just internally here. Not talking about you, chat. We know that you guys come with the fucking facts, but we're gonna have a much more like rounded look at all of these players and who we really think is valuable. And it might actually change some of our mindsets here. But right now, we're going through the position groups that we believe the Cowboys need to address. So it's gonna,
I have a sneaky feeling that on Wednesday night. No, I have a sneaky feeling on Wednesday night we're going to be taking a wide receiver in round 1. Just so that it defaults us into talking about them.
Well, yeah, I mean, but here, nothing's written in stone. And of course, what we're doing right now too is so whatever we draft first round on our Wednesday main event episode when we do our mock drafts every single week until the NFL draft actually occurs. Then on the Sunday service, which you're listening to right now,
draft.
We
It's like a research draft. Like we just did all that research on them.
Yeah.
Now
So, hey, we already made the pick. Let's go look if we made the right one or not.
we're doing it backwards, but crack them if you got them.
Crack if you got them.
But
Okay,
eventually,
let's
we
do
do
this.
so many mocks that it doesn't matter. We're going to be returning to like
Players.
different scenarios.
Yeah, let's do this shit, son.
All right, let's do this shit. 7-round mock draft on Turbo.
Which it will update after the combine. There is going to be some positional shifting.
Oh,
Which
absolutely.
we love. Which is what we love.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get in there. There's no rules. We're just having fun.
And we're just going straight to picks.
Yep, just straight to picks.
Boost.
Cam Ward, Abdul Carter,
I said
Tutorial.
Turbo,
Oh,
you stupid
jeez.
bitch.
That went.
Okay, so we're taking Genty.
Yeah, in
Did
my
we set
mind,
it?
Genty's our guy here.
Boost.
Boost it, and then boom, we're there. Oh yeah, we're okay. So who did? So we didn't talk about Shamar Turner. I've seen his name brought up a lot for defensive interior.
Maybe just bring up the defensive tackles and interiors up on the draft there.
Okay,
but
Just so we're only looking at them.
So as far as we probably lost a lot of the guys that we've been talking about. Okay, Alfred Collins.
Alfred Collins is there.
Alfred Collins.
I like that he's
Sherman,
there.
Josh, all these guys are here.
So this is the thing. You look at Turner. The reason I looked at Turner, click him on PFF here, just on this one. He downgraded each year.
Yeah.
Or he downgraded severely in
had a good
2024.
2023.
Had a good 2023, and then look at his first look, his size. I didn't like his size. So that's why I was thinking about talking about him. I was like, yeah, I'm not too sold on him. But then you go to Alfred Collins' PFF. He got better every year, substantially. Like you could say 10% better, and he's a fucking size queen.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm having a hard time not going Alfred Collins here if he's there.
Okay, and what we're going to do is just do a quick little look at Sherman and Alfred Collins. I did not put all this fucking work into this board. No, but it was good for me to understand.
No, it's very helpful.
So we're going to go 67.6 for Collins, and who was the other guy?
Shamar Turner.
Shamar Turner
He's way down there.
I don't like him, and the big reason, he's a penalty fucking queen. He's terrible on ball disruption. He's got a low pass rush win rate. He's got a huge missed tackle rate. I don't want him on the fucking team. I don't care. I don't give a
IDJ.
And his weight body meter, he's
in a gaff.
If anything, we're taking Alfred Collins.
I think Alfred Collins would be a very great selection here. But let's just go down a bit to see any of the other guys that we talked about. Deion Walker's there, but we have a chance of picking him up later on, possibly in the third. AJ, you got your JJ Pegasus down there at 116.
Yep.
We might not have a chance to get him. We could trade up.
CJ
West 157. We'd probably we'd have a chance at him. So
and Simeon Barrow Jr. is also someone who I really like.
Tim Smith was a guy that I also looked up, didn't talk about, but then you got Junior Tefano is right below him. So
but before we
we could roll the dice.
Before we pick though, can we just scroll up on the picks that have happened on the left hand side there, AJ, and just see what D tackles have gone?
Look at Xavier Watts at
TJ Sanders went to the Raiders. That's AJ's guy.
Yep.
Okay.
I didn't think he was going to make it to the second round.
Yeah, he went to 37.
Just made it to the second round.
Well, or second round.
Yeah.
So Jalen Walker's moving up boards now. They got him at 28.
Yeah, good.
So it's being more realistic. He'll be up there by the end.
Looks like they've done a shuffle here, which I like to see. So let's just have a look at BPA real quick. Basically, we got Sherman Turner, and then we're pretty into our DI.
Realistic.
I think Collins, man. I think
Collins just because we've talked about needing defensive tackle so bad. I'm not against I'm not against double dipping at defensive tackle either, fellas.
Yeah. Well, hey, this is a defensive tackle draft, so we're gonna have to look at it. You know.
Yeah, it's very possible.
We're not doing any trades, which we probably would have done trades realistically here.
No.
Gunnar Helm?
I think the nature of this drill is to kind of see who's available anyways, regardless if we're going to take them. So there's Deion Walker.
There's of our reach.
Aeneas Pebbles.
Peebles.
We got Jamari Caldwell, JJ Pegas. I looked at all these guys, Riley Mills, Simon Barrow, CJ West. These guys.
So the big question is, if whatever happens right on this pick,
we're not
is CJ West going to be available the next pick?
Yeah, because we're not going to get. It's looking like third round. We're not getting third and fourth round. We're not getting a defensive tackle.
I wouldn't go for it. They're too far back.
It's too far back. So
if you're gonna make the play, it's got to be the second round.
And then if you don't, then you might have to go get a little cray.
Let's just take Royals.
Yeah, just take Royals. We said wide receiver. So now it's a long push until the Cowboys are back up on the board. A long time. And a lot of picks gone.
Hey, now, would be a prime time.
Hey, there's my guy. Hey, you're going to have to convince me otherwise about Jackson Dart.
We're taking Jackson Dart, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, go defensive interiors. Let's just see who's available. See if anybody did get picked up that was supposed to fall past this spot.
But the reality, real quick here, there's CJ West, Dad. The reality is we have 7 remaining picks.
Yep.
It would be super smart for the Cowboys to trade up some of those picks. So
like if you look at this, so let's say we didn't pick Alfred Collins, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't pick Alfred Collins. We're sitting here. We're obviously going to pick Jackson Dart because we want a quarterback. But then we're looking at our defensive line. Do you take like a 174 and a 187 or a 174 and a 210 to then get moved up and take a CJ West earlier than 169?
If you don't, this is what it's looking like. If we don't take a defensive tackle in the second round, we're gonna have to trade up to get one.
Okay, so can we take?
Well, I would rather just not do anything and just see who's available at 187.
We're at 169.
I know, but we're at 149.
Right.
But we're not doing any trades. We're just seeing where guys lay in regards to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, our next pick is 169.
So after this pick. Yeah, okay, that's what I mean. So sorry, 169.
Okay, so
but those guys
exercises just to see who's there.
Just to see who's there.
CJ West is the best guy out of these guys from my WayJ board. Everyone else is ranked just way too low on their.
Yeah, you're not taking him right now.
So back to our board. We got Dart. We got Ewers.
I mean.
Jackery Krosky Merritt, who I really like.
We have it. We
have one of cubes.
Well, we have. I mean,
we already have a.
I think at this point you need to take a wide receiver.
Another one.
Who did we take?
We took Royals.
Oh, we took. I mean, hey, we've been known to double dip. I just think a quarterback would be sweet Fuck it, give Jackson Dart.
Let's give him Jackson Dart.
We're giving him Jackson Dart. Fuck
Welcome
it.
to the team.
So now we're gonna look at 169 here.
There's another.
Hey, Cody Simon as a linebacker. That's a good pick. If we were, hey, Stutzman's also a decent pick at this area, but we could probably get Stutzman on the next
So
one.
we're not taking again. We're not taking a defensive tackle here.
And we lost out on.
I think we take one of these three linebackers.
Where did CJ West go?
go?
Let's just take a look and see where did CJ West go. Again, defensive tackle, defensive interior exercise here. Okay, he didn't go, so let's pick him up. Go bring up your bring up our DTs. See who's available at this level here. This is the exercise, right? And
Yeah.
No, he
Oh, he
went.
did
Oh,
go.
he went. So where the fuck did he go?
CJ West.
There.
Oh, there you go.
156.
Fucking Dolphins, 156.
And they
okay.
traded up for him.
So there you go.
Okay, so
They
what?
needed. They needed a. They didn't, and that wasn't even a position of need for them.
Well, and so that good to know that with all of our picks, we don't get a defensive tackle in round
Well,
one or
no,
two.
but this
then-
is good
then-
though. Go to defensive interior again. Like there is some depth pieces here. Tim Smith, Junior Tufano,
Zeke.
there's some dudes left, but I don't think
Cam
any-
Horsley actually.
But both of those guys we could probably get in two more picks. So
Yeah.
we have 174. We could look at those guys around the 174 pick.
Guys, I hate to. Well, I don't hate. I actually love to bring up the WJ board. Let me
I know
just
you
show
do.
you Cam Horsley real quick here because. So Cam Horsley, he plays on. Who the fuck is this? Boston College. Fuck Boston College.
Yeah. Fuck Boston College, but hey,
He's ranked really low. But he is exceptionally efficient at what he does.
can't fault the guy. Can't fault the guy for doing what he did, and
He had
zero,
no sacks.
He had 0 sacks. That's one of them. Give me some size on him. Get
Stop-
back to
stop
PFF.
rate.
Give me some PFF size on him. I want to see his size on PFF, and I want to see if he got better. Just click his name.
Oh,
I just want to see how he ended up doing. Okay, so he progressed.
He
every single
progressed
year.
every single year, and he was decent 6'4", 306.
All right, that's not a terrible pick at this point. I just don't with as far as defensive tackles being.
I'm not
such
saying
a
take
need,
No, not take
No,
him.
not
we,
take
we,
him.
we could take him. We could take him in the 6th round.
But I'm
if
just
we want.
saying
That Horsley.
we have some guys that I think if we don't get a defensive tackle in the top 3 picks, we got to take 2 in the later rounds.
Yeah, I agree.
And
to see who.
hope one of them hits.
Yeah. Hey, and I think there are some guys in those later rounds that we could grab.
Yeah, bring Jackson Hawes in there. Fuck it.
6'5",
260. Bring him
Bring
in.
Bring him in.
Bring Jackson Hogs in
Georgia
here.
Tech.
We're just looking.
Yeah, we're just looking.
Okay, so now we just bumped down another fucking couple.
There's-
Look,
okay.
we got a lot of picks on
Yeah.
this. This is nice.
Okay, so Stutzman, we've
I
picked
say we
as
gotta take a
but-
linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker. We picked Stutzman before.
Get Lindenberg in there. Better every year. Sign me up. 6'3", 240.
Ooh, okay.
Welcome to
Bring
the
him on.
team.
You've already scouted that boy, eh? Okay, I like it.
And then let's go tackle.
Yeah, Emery
Oh,
Jones.
hey, who's
Love it.
our defensive? There's a guy right here that we could grab. So just bring up the defensive interiors at this position since it's our. So Tafu,
Cam Horsley is the next guy that I think we should target.
Okay, so
I wouldn't mind looking at Junior at 187. That's
Okay.
the only time.
Okay, I like that too.
He got better. He's 6'3", 208, but I don't. It's too early for him right now.
He did get good.
Okay, so he's our 187-ish pick. Okay, so who else are we going to then draft at best available here?
Emery.
Marcus Yarns.
Yeah, okay. I'm fine with double down in on halfback. I'm fine with that.
This guy's light and he's a nice reception back.
How
5'11", 183. He's just out there.
Scat back guy.
Scat back.
He's your 3rd down guy.
Let's
Bring him
bring him
on.
in.
Fucking welcome to the team.
Welcome to the
Why the hell
team,
not?
Marcus Yarns.
So let's see if. Okay, Tufuni is still there. I wanted to mind Bashil Tootin at this time, but
And Jordan James.
yeah, there were some guys that
keep scrolling down a bit though for a second there, AJ. No, never mind.
give us a safety. We need a safety. We haven't addressed the defensive backs at all in this draft. He's the highest rated one.
Ooh, don't like him.
Get him out of here.
Not great. Give me a 199 look there.
Okay.
Meaner
Dean
Diener.
Clark's much better.
Meaner Diener.
Yeah,
6'1",
bring him on.
206.
Meaner Diener.
Well, let's look at cornerbacks also.
Yeah.
That's
Just
true.
fucking picking up a safety for the fuck of it.
Well, I don't think there's any cornerbacks worth it.
What about an
yeah, no.
offensive lineman? Well, who's
We just took an offensive line,
right?
which I guess you could.
6'1", 201. You could transfer this guy to safety.
Yeah, but
Okay, hey,
it's too-
centers. What do we got available for centers right here?
Okay.
Let me just see centers for a sec.
Hey, you're not wrong. I fucking hate that you have a good idea, but you're not wrong.
No, we're not doing. We're not doing it. I think your best guy is gonna be that safety for a position. We just took halfback. We're not taking another. As far as BPA goes, it's the safety at 190, 191 or 199.
No,
either of those guys.
Diener over fucking.
He also played for Fresno State.
Ugh.
So this is another thing that we need to start looking at. Go back to the Fresno State guy. Look at on the side, you can see his. So he played well against Michigan, but then you also want to look for schools like other really good schools, which they didn't really play against anyone else crazy. SMU would have been the other good team, or that's not even SMU. So go back to our other dude. And let's see. So he played against better competition. He played against Washington, Nebraska, Michigan. So that he had harder competition.
But he fucking sucked. Dick.
Yeah, but you know what? The only reason I'm taking is 6 foot 200. I think we can do something with him. That's it. Actually, hang on.
Yeah, okay. It's got to go. We got to go down to. We need a draft buzz pick between
both
Arnold and between.
I like that. I like our fun research draft turned into. Hey,
it's a research draft.
We take everything we can.
Yeah, but we're looking forward. This is part of research.
Well, realistically, it would have just been BPA, which that guy is the BPA.
Exactly.
Which I'm not a fan of. Kidding. Hey,
doesn't want to do research. Ugh.
Oh, fuck this nerd. No, look. He has a I think he's Polynesian. Maybe that's a bit. He does feel Polynesian to me.
Let's get the other look.
Looks like he's rapping my mother.
Give me Diener. My guy's all. I'm a Diener guy. Dean Clark. Dean Clark sounds like he's a fucking white nerd. Does nothing but school and football. I kind of want him in that later draft. Developmental player.
What team?
He's a Bulldog.
Fresno State.
I don't know if the Fresno State Bulldogs. Doesn't even register on Draft Buzz. That's not great for us here.
Not great. So it looks like we got to go nerd boy.
No, AJ, just do the regular. Not a white guy, or is he a white guy?
I don't know. That's like
that guy's white.
That's gray hair.
Look at the dude, or maybe not.
Yeah, whatever. Looks like a good kid.
I'm leaning towards the other dude.
Okay, let's go with him.
I'm leaning towards Akeelia Arnold. I mean that's a good name.
Bring him on.
Bring him on.
Bring him on.
Let's see if
calling it.
Let's see if AJ's picks here. I think he went.
Who?
He did. Cam Horsley went.
He went at 206.
206 to the Jets, Jets.
And we're just looking at the DIs to see who's there. Cameron Jackson. Hang on, where are you, Cameron?
I think he actually did
Cameron's good. Cameron, I would take.
Let's get it.
Cameron, I would take.
But give me, just click him. Click him first. Give me, oh yeah, I like it. Solid 70s. Yep, 6'6", 342. We talked about this dude a little bit. Just bring him on. Run defense is good. I think that's a solid depth signing. And then for our very last pick in this tester situation, we just got to go with.
You know what? Who's a big body wide receiver? No
one there.
Let's just see. Big body wide receiver. Do you exist?
Let's see. First look him.
6'1", 190. Not that good. I'm looking at 3.
Beanpole.
6'3", 215.
That might be your guy.
A little
you
better.
Get one more. There, 6'3" guy. Rock Taylor. Great name.
Rock Taylor, and he's got, he's good. He's good enough. Let's see what he's doing for this team. Okay, so there it is. First, we're going to have a quick look here. Get out of here.
They gave us a C for Alfred Collins. We knocked it out of the park with everybody else. Jackson Dart, I'd love to see that as an A.
Jackson Dart as an A.
2 A's on our running back.
Marcus Yarns, A-. I like that late round pick for Yarns.
Keep an eye on him. C+. Cameron Jackson, C. Rock Taylor, B+. You know what? We'll see Draft Buzz, or we'll see PFF. We'll see. All right, guys, that was it. Hey, it was fun. We went a lot of information installed into our brain to get us ready for that 3-day draft-tacular extravaganza. Year 3 of us doing it. Can't wait for it to happen. And we're going in this year. We're trying to be as prepared as possible. And I think we're really making the steps needed to have a lot of info and a lot to talk about on each day of the drafts, guy.
And I'm labeling that as our 2.5 draft.
Okay.
It's not our third.
It's a 2.5.
And it's going to be just kind of there if we need it.
I like
it's
these-
not
hey.
it's not an official Can Fan draft. Those happens on Wednesday only.
Yeah.
But I like those 0.5 drafts. Those
0.5 drafts are good.
This was fun because what I liked about it is we got to go through the guys. We talked about them all. We got kind of excited. And then we went and saw what the reality was at this point right now that the
was good.
Cowboys could actually select them. So
It was good.
you know, first round here, we're going to be obviously doing a second round on all of these position groups. And I'm stoked. This makes offseason a little bit more fun for us. I loved coming here on Sunday, by the way. But I really hate knowing when I wake up on Saturday morning that there's no football tomorrow. And
No
I'm
football.
Like, what the F?
And
what the F?
That's going to be a bit. All right, guys, we're out of here. If you know somebody who's not a Dallas Cowboys fan, you go look them in the eyes and you tell them to go fuck themselves!
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, Sunday service is in my brain. Pull it out and let me